One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com. One of our favorite sponsors is back.
Have you ever listened to Family Mystic?
Out of a rainbow?
That you got at Electric Fish Lights.
Shit.
You should.
Yeah, you probably can.
Go ahead.
If you go on over there,
That's
and you
called
check it
dropping
out.
the ball, everybody.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
we
go on
didn't
over,
drop the
no,
ball.
well, we had to think about it
Yeah, we
because
do.
you can, and there's one way to do that.
How?
Well, you have to go over to electricfishlights.com or at electricfishlights on Instagram and check out what they do. These are the coolest lights.
These are artisan lights.
Yeah. Have you ever walked into your house and you walk over to the light switch and you're like, you know what? That's boring. Well, they've got you covered now. You can get beautiful, one-of-a-kind lights from Electric Fish.
That are exciting.
Yeah, and they're made with IQ technology, which is interlocking quadrilaterals. It's 30 interlocking pieces that can be configured into 15 different shapes. And when you put those together, they can build anything you can think of, including rainbows and starfish and cats.
All
and
kinds of cartoon
sloths.
characters.
And,
They
and sports teams.
Sports teams, yep, they got that covered. I mean, they have like the white ones look like Art Deco. They're so classy.
Yeah, they
and
really
cool.
are.
Yeah, so never ever again will you walk in your house, turn on the light and go, oh,
I'm bored.
yeah. No, you're going to have color changing bulbs. You're going to have bulbs that play music because they're Bluetooth speakers. And check this out. Any NSR family member that orders a light with the color changing upgrade bulb gets a one-of-a-kind, No Simple Road Electric Fish Lights collaborative poster, and every light comes with a 12-foot cord, a hardware kit to hang the light, and a 12-year energy-efficient bulb. And they're all made with upcycled vinyl like milk jug plastic. So you're doing something good for the planet, you're lighting up your house, you're making your walls look pretty with different colors on them, and your posters are going to come to life. So go to electricfishlights.com, put in the promo code NSR, and you're going to get 10% off your light, and you're going to get a light that's not going to be boring, and you're going to be all excited.
Yeah, don't be boring. Lighting game is important.
Yeah, go to electricfishlights.com and get enlightened. You could go to Walmart and buy a Grateful Dead t-shirt.
Why'd you do that?
You could even go to tell me another silly place that you could,
CVS?
Target. Yeah, I've seen them there. You can, what's that place? Urban Outfitters. I've even seen Grateful Dead stuff
There's
there.
a lot of stuff there.
But look, man, when you buy Grateful Dead inspired merchandise, you want to support the family. You want to take care of your brothers and sisters that are part of the Grateful Dead community. And that's what Shop Tour Bus is.
Tour Bus.
They are the online lot's most amazing provider of Grateful Dead inspired merchandise that is not on the nose. You want picture puzzles that tell you a story of a Grateful Dead song? Go to Shop Tour Bus, shoptourbus.com, and When you're checking out, put in the promo code NSR. You're going to get free shipping. And check this out, man. All of the stuff that you get from them is going to come in a hand-designed box with a Grateful Dead lyric on the inside. All kinds of cool extras in that box. So you're not only going to get what you order, like the clothes that you order, the sticker, you're going to get a box that's a keepsake, and
some lucky people are going to get an authentic, handed down, passed around bootleg of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, man. So you are not getting some H&M inspired bullshit or some Walmart knockoff. You are getting real live Grateful Dead family produced shop tour bus kind merchandise. So go to shoptourbus.com online or at shoptourbus on Instagram. Put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word, get your free shipping, and hook yourself up and take care of the family.
Hey everybody, this episode is also brought to you by Define Premium Cannabis.
Define Premium Cannabis.
That's right.
Yeah, you heard that right. We have premium cannabis out at Define.
Really?
We have
I
2
would have
locations.
Never guessed,
No, we carry Tupperware.
and widgets.
Yes. So we have 2 locations in the Portland area, one in Hillsboro,
And one in Forest
Grove. And if you come out, we will get you set with whatever you need for whatever is ailing you. We got your buds, your tinctures, your dabbables, your vapables, edibles, like everything. And we love to take our time with people to get them suited to the right product because there's so many things on the market.
Apple, what is live resin?
Live resin?
Yeah.
Live resin is when they harvest the plant, they take it and they flash freeze it immediately. It has to go into like a container, be flash frozen. So it preserves all those beautiful little trichomes. They're all over it. And then you take that and then you process it to make your live resin out of it.
Is it alive?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in a way it is. I mean,
Okay.
it's a plant and it's flash frozen and brought back from cryogenic state to make wonderful things that make you feel good.
Heavy, man.
It is heavy. It is pretty heavy.
So yeah, man, go to Define, hook yourself up with some live resin or some bud, and when you go in there, make sure you tell them you're part of the No Simple Road family. Say, hey, I listen to No Simple Road because guess what Apple's going to do?
Give you 10% off and a free
And
t-shirt.
a free t-shirt on your first trip in there, man. And check this out.
What?
It is the best bud in all of Oregon. Out there at Define Premium Cannabis. I know this for a fact because it comes to my house every day when Apple gets home from work. It is the best bud out there. He scours the farms here in the Portland area to
All
find
over Oregon.
the kind. So go check it out. Don't skip this. If you live here and you haven't been there, you're blowing it. Go out
If
there.
you come to the Hillsboro location, I'm there Monday through Friday and I will hook you up.
He come out the back dressed like a mechanic and he will fix whatever is wrong with you with his tools of cannabis. How'd you like that one?
I like that. I will. So come visit us.
Go to Define Premium Cannabis. Hook it up.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple. Check it out.
No simple road. No simple road. No simple road. No simple road.
We have arrived. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word I was looking for.
Pulled
Arrived.
up.
We
Rolled up in the hoopty and rolled
up
out.
tough.
Hey,
or
now.
pull up tough.
No Simple Road family. We're back. This is Aaron.
This is Mel.
And this is Apple.
And we are
No Simple Road.
Just kidding. I'm totally fucking kidding you guys. What's up, everybody?
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
But that, what we just, I like that. That goes with our guest this week of what they came and
that's
did for
right.
us.
That's
I
totally
thought
true.
that's what you were aiming for right
No,
there.
there was
Well-
no aim. That was a shot in the dark, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, our guest this week on No Simple Road is Family Mystic, and they are going to knock your socks off with their live performance of their fantastic, beautiful voices melding in such a way that the angels came down, put pillows in your ears, and gave them a nice warm drink.
Wow.
I like that.
I didn't know my ears were even thirsty until just now, or that they needed a pillow.
I didn't know mine were thirsty until I heard Family Mystic sing on our porch.
No,
Okay.
they are like the nightingales of their generation.
The songbirds
The
of,
songbirds.
of the Portland area.
They are such sweethearts, every single one of them. And unfortunately, we didn't get to talk with all of them because
No, they were all here.
no,
No,
the horn
player
yeah.
wasn't here. Sax player.
So
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm positive. I have it written down, and he wasn't here. They talked about it. We talked
Okay.
about it.
I must be losing my head.
Well, this was back on the 1st of August, this interview, and here we are on the 23rd.
Yeah, a lot has happened between August 1st and now. Let
yeah,
me just
we're
tell
in
you.
September 23rd, so that was quite a while ago. But yeah, so we got to speak to 4 out of the 5 members of Family Mystic, which is what you are going to hear momentarily.
Well, not momentarily. You're going to hear it here in a little while. But
yeah, momentarily.
Yeah.
Many moments stacked up together.
Yeah.
if you are not familiar with who Family Mystic are, and I'm sure a bunch of you that do not live in the Portland area don't know, they are a local Portland band that I discovered them on Instagram a while back and was immediately enthralled with what I saw and felt through the screen and heard with my ears, and the angels putting pillows and giving them drinks.
And we went to see them. They through the summer, they were doing a performance at Mount Tabor Park
Every Tuesday.
every Tuesday
For free.
and they are putting out and pumping out some amazing vibes. Aaron and I went a few weeks back, took a little dinner picnic. And it was actually right before we went to the gorge, and it was an amazing evening. The weather was perfect. People were dancing, riding their bikes. There was dogs, there was kids. Everybody was spaced out on their blanket, just having a good time, and Family Mystic was jamming.
Yeah, they found this really cool spot to set up in one of the local parks here. And the spot that they set up faces east. So the west sunset is at their back, and it's like on a cliff, basically, the overlook. And
You have a view of the city.
Yeah, and as they're playing their free set in the park every Tuesday, the sun is setting behind them. And when you walk into the area where they're playing, you can feel the energy of the place. Like immediately, there's a bubble of tranquility and like happiness, and just everybody chilling out on their blankets, having dinner and picnics, and kids dancing and people grooving, and it's a really cool thing what they're doing, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's
beautiful.
yeah, it's
They're
beautiful.
pumping out healing vibes. They talk about it here on the show. So
And this one's super special because they came here to the house.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And this
We all got to sit together, smoke together, get to know each other, do a great conversation. and you're gonna hear it because they did some like a cappella
Yeah.
singing stuff on the patio for us, which is amazing.
Yeah, and this is old school No Simple Road. This is back out on the porch. Actually, we are outside for this conversation that we had with Family Mystics. So it's reminiscent of
The old
the
days.
good old days.
Yeah.
or the
You hear some
beginnings.
birdies in the background, a little bit of background noise.
You might even hear leaf blower guy if you're lucky in the background there.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
For those of you that are old school No Simple Road people, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you that are just joining us, that this is your first episode, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
And, we don't typically just give you an intro of 10 minutes and then jump into the interview. We you get 2 shows in one with No Simple Road.
Two shows in one.
Thanks, Apple.
Uh-huh.
And, we rehash, or I guess this wouldn't be a prehash.
Go over our week.
Yeah, we talk about our weeks.
And we
This is the
we got
first
some
time
stuff
we're
to
doing
talk
it.
about this week.
we do have a lot to talk
I'll
about.
go last because I'm having a hard time remembering things right now.
That's okay. For once, I remember what's going on around here.
Good, baby.
Yeah, I'm not doing math, and I'm not remembering a year from now, so I can
Perfect.
kind of remember what went down. No, we went to Red Rocks for the first time this past weekend, and Mel, Apple, and I got to see Green Sky Bluegrass and Circles Around the Sun and Railroad Earth, and it going out with the grand poobah of the No Simple Road family, Nate, and his lovely wife, Megan. We hung out with them and rented an Airbnb with them. And it couldn't have been a more perfect trip, like in all senses of the word.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. From the weather to the company that we had to
The timing.
the timing of everything that went down to the people that we met, the music, the lights, the moon. It was astounding is the only word that comes to mind. Before we left, my boss had said, I told you guys this last week, going to Red Rocks is, dare I say, a spiritual experience. And that was in the back of my mind going out there. And he was not wrong. It was otherworldly. Both nights, the music, I haven't seen music like that in a very long time. I don't know if it's just because bands bring their A game to Red Rocks, or if it was just a combination of the company that we were with and the venue and all, or I don't know. But I would put that in the top 3 best shows I've ever seen, those 2 nights of music. And there's just so much to talk about. Like Saturday night at Set Break, I walked over to the side to go smoke a cigarette. Apple was already over there, and I was handing out stickers to people and met 2 of the listeners of our show. Apple was already talking with one
to
guy.
Timmy. Yeah, I was talking to Tim. Hey, Timmy.
and I met Warren, and him and I talked, and meeting the No Simple Road family at shows is always a mind blower. But Warren and Timmy both said the same thing.
Did they know each other?
No, they said the exact same thing to me, apart from each other. Like, we weren't all in a conversation together.
Okay.
Both of them said the same thing. And basically, to paraphrase, like, listening to No Simple Road helps them and reminds them of home. And that's the biggest compliment that we could ever get, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, that's pretty incredible and beautiful to
Yeah.
remind you of home. That's very special it's a special feeling to conjure up. So if you 2 guys separately can listen to the show and feel home, that's amazing.
Means a
And thank
lot.
you for saying that.
It's
Thanks
huge.
for feeling that.
I mean, to me, that's a bigger deal than like, wow, that conversation you had with so-and-so was my favorite conversation. Or like, I never heard that story before from this person, or any of that stuff. It pales in comparison to that, to hearing that from those guys.
Well, I don't even want to compare anything.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hearing feedback, period, whatever it is from our family, it's amazing the fact that you take time out to contact us or to find us at a show, send anything in to let us know what we're doing for you. Now you're changing the game. You're adding your energy to us and creating
feedback.
Well, something deeper than just one-way listening, you know? And that's awesome. So thank you guys for that, because we did meet a good amount of people. And I don't know if Shelby listens to the show, but she's a friend of Bryce's. And she came up to us while we were walking upstairs to get some merch. And she was like, hey, are you Bryce's friends? Or you guys know Simple Road? And like, yes. And her husband, sorry, I don't remember your name, but her husband or her partner. And it was just really beautiful time to, like you said, that the moon was right, the air was right.
Yeah.
I say Nate brought that up. We're talking about the timing over the timing of everything, of like breakfast, of everything we did was just so smooth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And another huge deal was meeting Grant Livingston and Allie and hanging out with them, and the conversation that I had with them is going to be with me for a very long time. I can't wait for you guys to hear Grant's conversation with us. We interviewed him for the show. If you don't know who he is, go check out Grant and Friends, Grant Livingston. It's out on all the platforms, all the music platforms.
That's coming up soon.
Yeah, that episode's getting ready to come out soon. But talking to Grant and Allie, just getting to know them, it felt so comfortable and familiar, and it gave me that feeling of home. And feeling like that.
Grant and Allie have a powerful gaze.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of those two. I don't get, I wouldn't even say I was intimidated, but there was like something very powerful. Looking at Grant. I was like, I'm just going to have to grab him and hug him for a second. If
you want to hold
keep
him.
looking at me like that.
You want to hold them, both of them.
And they weren't doing anything. It's just, I can't imagine just them looking at each other's eyes. You know what I mean? They're such a beautiful couple. They're so full of life. They're so passionate about music and living and life.
And Allie said something to me that, like, I've known this and I've felt like this, and I just never, I don't know, I never had it put in those terms as
maybe you just needed to hear it from her.
As clearly, yeah. But like, music is our religion. It's how we connect with the universe and each other. And I never really thought about it in those terms. It was a given for me, but to have it defined like that, in that space, because I was tripping, it was really powerful. And Allie, thank you for that. Like, you birthed something in my head by saying that, and made me fall in love even more with our community and the bands that we go see, because it really is that. It's how we connect outside of ourselves. My life is a conglomeration of all of my thoughts and feelings that are inside of myself. Nobody else experiences that but me. And when I go out and I go to a show, it is the one time in that continuum where I cease to be. I'm connected to a larger thing than myself, and feeling all the people around me and the music, and being a part of the creation of those sounds by movement and energetic thought. That is religion to me. That's my spirituality. And just thanks for that conversation. It was awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. That impactful little moment was 20 minutes of a conversation in an entire weekend at Red Rocks. That was the entire experience there was on that level. And all I know is that those guys in Green Sky Bluegrass deserve a fucking medal or a trophy or a Grammy, or I don't know what.
I think they got it.
They if they don't, they should, or an Oscar.
I think that's what I think that's what the Earth was giving him by giving him that full moon. That's what it felt like. It felt like it was a blessing of the gods for their performance.
Yeah, that entire weekend,
that
the weather, the
naturescape,
love they
exactly.
got back to them when they thanked us all, thanked everybody both nights. Well, and probably the third night, we missed Friday night, but they were so happy to be back, and it showed.
And hearing from them, like at the end of the second set on Sunday night, Anders was talking about like how it felt so amazing to the band to be able to pull it off, that, you know, the original schedule of this show was in 2020. It got canceled. So they've been waiting a year and a half to go and do this. And this was the culmination of a lot of work and planning, and they finally got to do it and pulled it off with these three amazing bands: Lucas Nelson, Promise of the Real, Circles Around the Sun, and Railroad Earth. And to hear his feeling, or the band's feeling on like, we're leaving here with our hearts full too, and thanking us for giving them what we did. Like, it was just huge, man. And I still am floating from it. And coming back after an experience like that is usually really difficult for me. Like, I have trouble integrating back into work, and especially after being elevated for a couple of days like that. And but this trip was different, man. I came back and just kind of went back to it and felt good. And on the flight home, I told Mel, I was like, man, I got a lot of work waiting for me at home, remember?
Yeah.
And it was like on my mind as we were at the show. I kept thinking, like, you got a lot waiting for you, man. You got to, you know, nose to the grindstone when you get back. Have fun now, but when you get home, it's on. And I was like having that anxiety about having a pile waiting for me when I got back. And I just got back and started doing it, and it felt good. And it just is all coming out really easily right now. So I'm grateful. And I think the weekend was exactly what I needed. And again, like, I don't want to gloss over the fact that Nate and Megan really helped to make the weekend as smooth and perfect as it was. Like, when we ever go anywhere, I'm usually the one that's doing the planning and getting the rides and ordering the food and like doing all that shit. And it was really cool to have Nate there and have him pick up where I would leave off and take charge, so I could just like sit back. It's kind of like how John did a little bit when John and Amy were around.
It was seamless with Nate. He and Megan had taken care of everything. From the Friday night, we end up in the airport. I turn around. He's like, Mel, look over, and there's 6'5" big Nate with this, Subaru coming to pick us up. And it was like we had been out for like, I don't know, 45 seconds at that point, maybe.
I couldn't even light a cigarette.
Well, I just kind of walked away from the guys because they were smoking. I was like, that is the last thing I want to smell after being on a plane for that long. Like, get the hell out of here. So I walked away from them. And the second I did, Nate calls out, and I'm like, yes. So we get in the car, and it was just like everything was just smoother than the last thing that we did. We went to Target. We got what we needed. We went home. We had pizzas. It was that night, right? Yeah. And that
weird pizzas.
Just we woke up the next day, had a beautiful, beautiful breakfast. Like, everything was just so, nothing was rushed, but everything was in perfect time. If our trip was a jam, people would have been screaming for encore.
Totally. Yeah. And
we are.
Yeah, coming back
for real.
Coming back from that is really impressed on me the beauty of our scene and how wonderful the people are. One of the pictures that's like forever burned in my head is during the encore on Sunday night, turning around as the crowd was singing along and looking at all the faces of the people singing and seeing the tears on people's cheeks and the smiles on their faces and just ecstasy, not the drug, but the the emotion, like
and
and
probably
the drug,
joy.
and
The
that
joy.
too. But just the joy on people's faces was just so.
Spirits were high.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. So I'm moving to Red Rocks. I'm gonna just live in the venue from now
But babe,
on.
that was just 2 days of the week.
Yeah.
That was the whole
And
week
we-
as far as I was concerned.
And we got to throw in there too. It was very special because we got to share 2 firsts. The first time, Circles Around the Sun playing Red Rocks.
Yeah,
And the first time
she.
when she came on stage and played her instrument with Green Sky Bluegrass. She was amazing. And who is she? Holly Bowling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. It's
Go back to the Holly Bowling episode.
If you guys
and check
don't
it
know,
out.
yeah, if you guys have not heard Sunday's show yet, when you do, you'll get that. It was such a special moment when they brought her on stage because she elevates them, they elevate her. And Nate it was one of my favorite things of the weekend was seeing Nate's reaction because he started calling it. They were slick. They had the lights off on the side of the stage and they rolled the keyboard and her piano and rig and everything out kind of quietly. And then he was like a little school kid.
Yeah, he was
6'5", big dude. I mean, he looks like a linebacker. He was a linebacker.
He looks
when
like a
played
gigantic
football.
Viking.
And he
does.
was jumping up and down and pumping his arms and was like, "It's Holly!" And then the whole place did that. The entire place gave her such a welcome.
If you have the ability, if you have nugs, or I'm sure there's clips up on YouTube now, go search it out. Was it the 18th? No, the 19th.
19th.
Yeah, 19th of this month, the Green Sky Bluegrass at Red Rocks with Holly Bowling. You will not be disappointed. It was some of the best musical moments I have ever seen out of any show I've ever been to. I've never seen Mel cry that hard at a show before.
When
ever.
Paul and Holly did the duet on Windshield.
Yep.
I don't know if I ever have cried. Like, it was hard. Like, every time you mess with my volume, it drops it. No, but you did it earlier. Anyway, wow. The emotion that the two of those were pouring out into their instruments and into their voices and to the crowd, I just felt it so deep. And then being with Nate, because he was so excited about Holly and being where we were and what the song was talking about. And I was a mess. I felt like I was crying for like everything in life, like all the losses and all the wins and all of the emotions that people feel, and including myself. Like, it was just such a strong cry. It was like almost like a battle cry.
It
And
sounded like it. It sounded like laughter and crying
it
and
definitely
every
wasn't
every
laughter this
emotion
time,
in
but-
one that was.
Well, and then at a certain point, because I cried almost the whole song, like truly, and it was like a friggin' 13-minute song or something. And Nate comes over and like grabs me, and like Nate is a tank, man. Being brought in by Nate is like the most comfortable. Like, I felt like I had shelter, like literal shelter, like an awning and kind of like a love seat, and and so it was like so comforting. So it was like I could cry like unfettered. You know what I mean? It was just like I'm in this like kind of protective cocoon and able to just cry. And Nate, at one point, he's like, I'll let go when you let go. You know, he's like, I'm ready when you're ready. And it was just such a cool thing that to know that he was there and to have that powerful performance. There was so much feeling that it brought on, and it really made me love Paul and Holly so much, and just Green Sky Bluegrass. Each member of that band is, at first I was like, oh my God, Paul's my favorite. I can't even, like, he's gorgeous. He's singing this haunting, incredible voice. He's that, at one point I looked over at Aaron, I was like, he is slaying that little instrument. Because I could, like, he's kind of not, well, just the angle of the camera. Like he just looks like he's got, like kind of buff or something. And he's got this tiny little, almost,
Mandolin.
yeah, it looks like a ukulele though to him, like it's just so small, but he was like giving it all he had. And then I would go over and Anders would like start talking and he's got this awesome vibe. And then you look at his hands and it looks like he's barely doing anything, but the sound that's coming out of this freaking instrument is like, it's like eternity.
He's conjuring for sure.
Yeah. And so like each time they would hand it off to the next member, it was just like, wow, this singing from gosh, now I can't.
Dave Bruza.
Yeah, Bruza. His singing was just.
Bruza is my spirit animal.
I don't even understand how to describe his singing.
They all have such an amazing thing. Like you said that too, Mel did. She's like, they are all, you know what? It's not just Paul. They are all Titans.
Yes.
They're all Titans, all slaying their instruments.
That's how I saw them that night.
Anders is like the MC. He is so good with the crowd and the introduction of like Holly, everything they did. And then Railroad Earth too, opening Sunday night. Aaron and Mel, you've listened to the show, they got to see him a few years back for New Year's. And they've been telling me building up to like, dude, one of those things we can't even describe it to you. Just wait. You're gonna get your doors blown off. And it was amazing. Those guys and Tim Carbone on that fiddle and everything else, they're all multi-instrumental and sing, and that was so amazing. That show on its own opening for them. And then when they did the encore, I mean, it was like 10:30. Nate ordered the Uber a little bit too early to come back.
We thought it was going to be done.
They did a half-hour encore with all of them on stage, just playing off of each other, like the most amazing mandolin back and forth, the banjo. I mean, it was like the ultimate, not duel, because that's not the right word. Collaboration. And Paul gets so excited when he's playing, when he like runs in place and jumps up and down. Like their excitement is so exuberant. It just takes everybody over.
Yeah.
I remember like about 3 songs into Railroad Earth, maybe 4. I looked over at Apple and I was like, hey, dude, this is the opener. Because Apple had this look like a little kid, like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, dude, this is the opener for tonight. Like, and we're just glossing over how Circles Around the Sun came out with every gun they had blazing and just destroyed Red Rocks. Like,
they shook that place.
There was power from that band I have never experienced like that from them.
Well, we'd seen him a few days earlier before we went to Red Rocks here in Portland. Where was that theater?
At
the Aladdin
The Aladdin Theater. And they were fantastic, but they did not play the way that they played.
It was
at
a
Red
Rocks performance.
And their disco balls were able to be a little bit more spread out and like kind of wider. And so what it made the nature look like, because it's like playing off of like the stones and the rock and the night sky. They really had something special. The only thing I wish I had was roller skates.
And just a little tidbit, on October 9th, we're going to be talking with John Lee Shannon, who is the new guitar player from Circles Around the Sun. So I'm super stoked that's getting ready to go down. Yeah, that's going to be fucking awesome. But seeing them, I feel like since we've had everybody in that band except for Dan on the show,
we're going to catch up with you, Dan.
Yeah.
We almost did, and it didn't work out.
But I feel like, and because I'm friendly with Mark, that's like our homies. You know what I mean? When I see them play, it's like,
yeah, it's
like seeing the Higgs play, or
yeah, and Adam came over to the house.
Yeah, and so like I'm rooting for them every time they get on the stage in a different way than like Green Sky. I don't know them. I'm just stoked to see them play. But those guys, I like, come on, guys, kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was beyond expectation. to see that. And congratulations, you guys.
What
if
a
you
way to
hear
open
this,
up the
man.
show too.
Yeah, congratulations for your first Red Rocks performance.
That was, I remember when, like, getting towards the end of that, we were all kind of hugging each other, and we all kind of said the same thing. It was like Neil would be so proud. So proud.
I lost my
seeing
shit
that.
a little bit on that.
Yeah,
one.
he was there. He was up on that sail rock looking down.
Yeah, so magic weekend, and a good time was had by all.
Yes.
And like Mel said, no, that wasn't the whole week. That was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We came back on Monday, and we all slept for 2 days, basically.
Hold on. We got to add in one. I got to add in one last thing, because it was the funniest thing Sunday night on the way home. It's midnight in Denver.
Oh shit!
On the
Almost
Sunday,
midnight,
so
11:30.
Yeah, everything's closed. We're like, oh, you think KFC's still open, honey? We're all so hungry, and we ordered sandwiches from Chiba Hut, which I guess is in several states. Some of you out there may know. And it was the funniest thing with our Uber driver driving, and we're all just out of our minds, full of love, light, everything else coming out of that show. And Aaron's reading off the menu, and it's like weed strains and stuff. Like, me and Aaron got the AK-47.
You want a White Widow?
And then it's like, do you want a nug, a pinner, or a blunt? And we were just, it was a half-hour ride home, and we were ordering sandwiches most of the time and just cracking up, having so much fun.
But I will say that my phone skills came in handy. They came in clutch that night, because
you killed it.
We were home, and within 5 or 10 minutes,
It wasn't 10 minutes. It definitely was on that side.
In my world, sandwiches were delivered to our porch,
and we were
at our
chowing.
Airbnb. It was
and
Nate
by these two gorgeous girls. I was like, "Thank you,
I missed
beautiful
that.
lady."
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God! I went to grab the sandwiches, and it's these gorgeous young girls with their nails, and like they were speaking Spanish, and I was like, "Gracias, preciosa!" Like, they just handed us this huge, whopping bag of sandwiches, and with the gorgeous girls, I was like, "See," like it was just like kind of like unreal, like beautiful mermaids bringing us sandwiches
after the show,
right after we get home, like 2 minutes later, and after we had this amazing time. It just felt all very magical.
Well, then to cap it off, Nate got we all got pinners. Nate got a blunt. Okay, so the pinner's like an 8-inch, I think, and the blunt was 1.5 feet.
It was like 1.5 feet.
Yeah,
and stuffed.
Nate, like we said, is this gigantic 6'5"
angel sweetheart.
teddy bear,
and it was like the Italian Supreme with every kind of meat and pepperoncinis and everything
opens
hanging
up the
out
sandwich,
of it.
And I'm not looking. I'm like getting ready to eat. And Apple goes, "Wait, everybody stop." Everybody has to stop and look at Nate's face. And when I look up, and Nate is looking down at his sandwich like he just fell in love for the very. He just saw boobs. He goes, "Megan, I'm looking at this sandwich the same way as I did your boobs
The first time I saw your boobs." Yeah.
It was so cute to see his face so excited, because he had gotten screwed on our brunch order, and he didn't get his gravy with his biscuits.
You order biscuits and gravy, and there's no gravy. He's like, what the fuck?
I don't want this biscuit. It was so
that
cute.
Was a
it was like a mini tantrum in like 2 seconds, but just in tone only. And then, so seeing him light up with that sandwich, it was a really cool moment.
That sandwich embodied the entire weekend
Yeah.
at Red Rocks. It really
It did.
It did.
I can't wait to go to more shows with them. And, man, I'm going to say one more thing about live music. And I think I might have said this before. My God, I'm glad it's back. I am so thankful, so grateful for all the musicians that are like working hard to stay well and doing their thing, and like just this whole community, man. I am so grateful for every show we get to go to. And this is the part of No Simple Road where I'm going to give you a public service announcement. All right. Everybody, I want you all to listen to me. If you're going to the shows now these days and you're fucking complaining afterwards that the sound sucked, or the band was off tonight, or it was too jammy, or stop it. You need to stop it. Just cut it out. All right? Enough's enough. Be grateful for every fucking note you get to hear from now until the day they put you in the ground. because that shit can disappear again tomorrow. And you won't be hearing any jammy shows, or it won't be too short or too long. The sound won't suck. It won't be there.
Or it's no 94
Yeah.
or 97.
Enough's enough. We were walking out of Red Rocks after having this amazing experience, and there was people fucking complaining that it was too jammy. I can't even with you.
That's
right
what he
now.
was doing. He was speechless too. It's like, oh well. I mean,
Just stop.
Opinions are like assholes.
Yeah, man. Just
Everyone's got it.
Yeah, everybody's a
Hey, look,
critic.
a little
everybody's-
gratitude goes a long way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are constantly learning how to better themselves.
True, and
That's-
none of us are
and
perfect.
Exactly.
And I get
so
that.
sometimes, sometimes people are just learning that's how they need to be more grateful, is
But-
by appreciating what they get instead of what they think they should have gotten.
This is that part of the show where the star comes flying by, and it's like, the more you know. Just be fucking grateful.
The
The
more
more
you
you
know.
know.
All right. So, well, my week was pretty much the same. It was magical. It was fantastic. Green Sky. Dare I say that Green Sky Bluegrass made me a fan of their music and each individual band member. So that happened this weekend for me. I really can't say that about too many other bands. I like a lot of other bands.
Well, I think Fish is the only other band
Yeah.
that's done that.
Well, yeah. Trying to think of anything that I'm forgetting. I love Fish. Fish is
Hershey.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But Green Sky Bluegrass is brand new to me, and so it's music that I've never really have a history with or anything. And after Pick and Party here at Horning's Hideout and after Red Rocks, I really began to understand my musical taste, and they are my musical taste. That kind of exciting, strong, fast and slow kind of music that is meaningful and powerful and jovial at times too. And that's what I like. I like to be all over the place if I'm at a concert. I like to kind of like cry for a minute like I did under Big Nate's arms. And then I like to like dance
You were
my
a
ass
cheerleader. You were
off.
hopping and skipping and bouncing.
They made me cheer for them. I like did feel like it was like the Bulls or something, like, yeah, go. Like, it was amazing. And so that was fantastic. And being with Megan, like, I feel like they took care of us this weekend is what
Yeah.
it felt like.
Yep.
I felt like Nate and Megan took care of us, and it felt so good because usually, which I love doing this, I love listening. I love people telling me stories or how they're feeling or whatever. But the second I saw Megan, I just started unloading. So first of all, Megan, I'm sorry. And second, thank you for lending me an ear. I was just kind of like, talking about all the stuff that we've been going through and I've been going through. And she's an amazing listener. You're an amazing listener, Megan. And I just felt cared for by you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you because I know you're going to be listening to this, Nate, at least, and let Megan listen too. And I'm grateful for you guys. And I wouldn't have wanted to spend our trip to Red Rocks for the first time with anybody else, really. Like, you made it what it was, in my opinion. Like, feeling like you can go to a strange city and be picked up by your homies, and then you come to a beautiful home that you didn't have to take care of, and you have, like Aaron said, Nate was taking care of it. So I got to witness Aaron with less stress, which that's really fucking cool. It just made the trip different. It made it more like
Vacation-y.
yeah, it made it vacation-y, And the only thing I want to mention is that after we got back, I had to deal with some pretty heavy shit with my family that I won't get 100% into. But I was thinking, like, it can be anyone's tendency to be like, yeah, you have a good time, and then there you go, things fuck up or whatever. Like, when it rains, it pours. But I really thought about it, and I was thinking, gosh, I had such an amazing time that was so elevating and uplifting and refilling that it gave me the fuel to be able to deal with this. And we came back, and I went into days off, and it was just I was able to use my time to kind of do what I needed to do mentally and emotionally to get through the hard time I was going through. And so I wanted to say thank you to Green Sky Bluegrass and Cats and Railroad Earth for doing that for me this weekend. It was like filling my cup so that I have more battery for what I needed, which was, emotional turmoil.
Yeah, it's this week has been a trip, man, and I don't remember. I think it was Pat Ferguson last night. We talked to Pat, and we were talking about how the highs and lows that come at you in life, and they really do contrast each other. And the highs get higher and the lows get lower, and that's just kind of the way it is. And
and I can't even complain about it. I'm not mad at what's going on for sure. It's just, the time of life. You're getting older. Your parents are getting older. Your family's changing. Your life is changing. And there's a lot of change and transition going on. And some of it's comfortable and some of it is not.
And not to mention, we just had an equinox. And
we did.
The seasons are changing. So
and it's officially changing. Libra season, which is my birthday season.
Happy birthday.
And, I think during birthday time, everybody gets a little reflective. Everybody gets a little like reminiscent and even kind of hopeful and expectant. And there's all these kinds of thoughts that circulate around birthdays, whether they're like, a big one like a 50 or 40 or whatever. But nevertheless, there's always some kind of like thinking and thoughts about how your life is, how you want it to be, things that you have done that you're proud of, things that you have still yet to accomplish. And I'm definitely kind of in that mode right now. And I'm actually proud of a lot of my life. I'm proud of all of my life, even my stupid mistakes and my failures and all of that. And I'm ready for more, I'm really ready for more life. I'm excited about it. So no matter how great my weekend was and then how shitty my week starts out, I'm grateful and so ready for more.
There we are with gratitude again.
I can't escape it.
It's life.
I can't escape it. So why not embrace it?
Well, let's embrace it.
Yeah.
We got more music coming.
Yeah, we got more stuff coming up and everything.
Yeah, well, actually tomorrow we have Andy Frasco. And he's coming to the house and he's going to knock our socks off.
We'll go see Andy play tomorrow.
Where is it at? Mississippi
Studios.
Yeah, Mississippi Studios.
Tuesday night
we saw him there. That's when he took the entire band and crowd onto Mississippi Avenue, walked up and down the street and then back into the venue through the other doors. It was like a conga line.
And then next Tuesday is My Morning Jacket. For the very first time.
Are you coming with it?
Yeah, Apple's going.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I'll see when I make it there. That the doors are early. I don't know. We'll see.
And then what's after that? Then the week after that is Fish in San Francisco, and then the week after that is Fish in Eugene, and then we have a couple of weeks off. Or no, we go see Tenarowin.
I'm excited about that.
And then we go to Vegas.
Wow.
And then
lettuce.
And we've done nothing about our costumes, gentlemen.
There's so many things.
We have
nothing.
No Fish Vegas costumes yet.
We got a month.
That's going to go by
But I'd say
Yeah.
back to Red Rocks and my week. Did you cut my whole thing?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of went over it and stuff. Just got to also say thank you to Tommy.
Oh,
Tommy
tacos.
Tommy, and as in his fashion as he always does, we're sitting there. It was at set break, wasn't it? Sitting there talking to Grant and Allie, and all of a sudden, boom, just like leaps in front of us and is like, ta-da. And it was so good to see Tommy. We had a wonderful, weird conversation.
He found me too, which was so awesome.
Because you missed. He's like, oh, well, I'll come back and see Mel later. And then you ran into him. So, Tommy, it was so good to see you. We saw so many people there. Thank you to everybody. Having Matt and Allison along too.
Yeah,
they were
and
so
Rachel
fun.
and Scott.
And Rachel and Scott. Our crew was awesome. And just like all those shows, everybody that was around us was amazing. And this goes out to the cutie that was sitting behind us on Saturday night. Chris, if you end up listening to this, reach out like I told you to. If not, never mind. And then the other one that stood out was the guy that was in front of us.
Yes, with the hat.
Dude,
which was, it was
on Sunday night.
Was it Sunday night
with
where
the
he
red shirt?
Man, he was drinking. He had the full like Billy Strings look with the trucker hat, the hair pulled up,
That polyester shirt.
the shirt like a kind of a bowling mechanic type shirt, and he was stumbling and wasn't talking the best. As soon as the music started, he was swinging his girl around,
He was
dipping
swing
her.
dancing.
Yeah, he was like almost swing dancing to it, and it was
It
just
was amazing to see.
the vibe.
Dude could barely stand up, but he could fucking cut her up.
It reminded me of like the musicians in the past, like when they're worried about like, you know,
like Ozzy.
like Ozzy, Keith Richards or somebody, like they can't even talk, and then they shove them out on stage and the music starts and bam, they're on.
It was great to see.
And that seemed what the whole weekend was like. As soon as everything started, it was like bam, everybody was on. So just thank you to everyone. Like Mel said, to Circles, and congratulations to Circles for being there at Red Rock for the first time. Thank you to the whole group, Green Sky. And thank you to Railroad Earth for blowing my mind. I'm a forever fan now. That was amazing. And to Holly, to get to share Holly Bowling's
Aw.
first moment up there in Colorado where she lives, to get to take that stage and slay it like she did. That, whew,
I
we'll
wanna
never forget it.
I want to share one story that happened that Sunday night, because it was, you know, you talk. Well, let me just say it. I went to the bathroom, which, if you've been to Red Rocks, you know that the bathrooms are not close. So we were literally sitting in like row 20, so like in the middle of the like center stage and also in the middle of the seating. So I make my way out, go down the first flight, second flight. Anyway, I start coming back, and this woman looks over at me. She says, "Hey, do I know you?" And I was like, "No, but you look familiar." And she's like, "Where are you from?" And so I was like, "Oh, I'm from Portland." So we're walking and talking at this point now, walking up the stairs kind of like slowly.
Because you can't fucking breathe.
Nope. And anyway, she asked if I'm from if I've been to Hornings, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been to Northwest String Summit." And she's like, "Oh, well, maybe it's from there." And I was like, "I don't know." So we continue to walk, and she's like, "I like you," and I was like, "I like you too." So we start chatting more, and then she starts talking about the moon, and how amazing it is, and how we need to sit and take it in, like to really just look at it. And I was like, "Well, why don't we take a picture to commemorate this moment?" She's like, "No, we need to look at it." I was like, "Let's do both." So I take a picture, and then we both turn around and just like start staring at the moon. And she's like, "Can you even believe it?" And I was like, "Yes, we're here right now. Like, this is real life." And so she was like, "Oh my God, thank you for sharing this moment for me." So we're like getting deep real quick. And then she says to me that she's a second grade teacher from Colorado Springs, and that she's been losing her optimism lately and her ability to reason, because things just don't seem reasonable anymore. And she was really, really losing her faith in just
Humanity.
life, humanity, things that matter. And she was kind of really in a down kind of a way. And after our conversation, I mean, we went on, her and I went on for a while, and we ended up taking more pictures, and I emailed her, and hopefully you'll listen to this. And I don't remember your name, but I know you have mine because I texted it to you. We just had this amazing exchange of positive energy back and forth. And it really, truly was like the AC/DC, like the battery just charging itself, our conversation. And so the last moment, we're about to take our last selfie, and the music is starting. We need to go back to our seats, to our parties. And one woman looks over at us. She says, "You two are so beautiful. Can I take your picture?" And I was like, "Of course." So we finish our selfie, hand it to the lady. The lady takes our picture, and it's perfect. And we hug, and she's like, "I needed this conversation so bad tonight. Thank you so much. And let's pick this up." And so I went away from that conversation just thinking, if that was the only reason I went to Red Rocks, then that was worth it. If I flew, 3 hours to Colorado and climbed up these stairs and did all that just to make that lady happy, to go back to teach to those, second graders and inspire them, then that's what it's all for. And I just want everybody to remember that those small interactions are why it's so important and such a good time to congregate and be around others. And I know that can be controversial in our age right now, what we're living with, but we need that so much, because that not only fed her, it fed me. I'm sure the story will feed some of you out there, and it's certainly going to feed her second graders, because I know she got charged up, not just from the show, but our conversation and the moon and the environment, and just being reminded that we're like all one, and that we're people, and that we need each other, and that stopping for a 3 to 5 minute conversation can change the course of your day or even your life. So I just wanted to say thank you to her, to my second grade teacher from Colorado Springs. And thanks for sharing that moment with me before, or at second set. That was when it started back up, and it was just incredible. So
the moral to this intro is, if you haven't been to Red Rocks, you need to go. That's it. That's what this all boils down to.
Do it.
Go have a spiritual experience at Red Rocks.
We all said after, who was it? Mel. Who was it that said I'd go see anything there? I'd go see the Wiggles.
Oh, yeah, I saw the Wiggles.
Mel said that. Go see the Wiggles, yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who's there.
The Wiggles would be dope at Red Rocks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they would.
All right, let's not wiggle anymore. Let's do the business.
Yeah.
You
Let's
ready?
get them to Family Mystic.
Follow us on all the social media platforms at No Simple Road. Go to www.nosimpleroad.com and check it out, man. All the back episodes are there. All the new episodes are there. You can get No Simple Road merch there. You can sign up for the newsletter. Pretty cool. You could do that. And you can call 971-808-1524. That number again is 971-808-1524.
The tepid line.
That is our Google voicemail line. You can call and tell us any story you want.
Yeah, tell us about the story at Red Rocks like I did.
You listen to this every week.
Yes.
You hear us say it. You have a story. Every single one of you.
We just saw a bunch of you and met a bunch of new people up there.
Or this show's a Family Mystic show. If you've been to a Family Mystic show, call us up and tell us how your show went at Mount Tabor or any of the other spots that they've performed at Kesey Square. They've done a lot of fun stuff.
They played on the Strip in Vegas.
Dang.
971-808-1524. Okay. Now, here's the really important stuff. No Simple Road is growing. We need you to go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. That is how we pay for the show. We haven't had any new Patreon subscribers lately, and we need your help, guys. For real. If you're new to the show, consider giving $1 a month. If you're old to the show and you aren't donating, consider giving $1 a month. It's called Cute Dollars on No Simple Road.
Cute Dollars.
When you sign up on Patreon, you become a Chan donator. There's all kinds of gifts and extras up there. So patreon.com/No Simple Road. That's how we pay for the show and keep doing this and keep bringing you content and keep meeting you at shows and spreading love and community and all the fun stuff that we get to do together. So if you believe in what we're doing, consider it, you guys. And if you want to do something for the show that doesn't cost anything, you can go to Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you're listening to us on and leave us a review. Apple Podcasts, most importantly, leave us a 5-star review. Go on there, type a few words. Hey, I love No Simple Road. You guys rock. Or when I listen to No Simple Road, I smell patchouli and BO. Whatever.
Yeah,
we have a 4.9 rating on Apple Music. That's
really
pretty perfect.
Yeah.
As good as you can get besides a 5-star.
I was going to say, no, it's not. A 5.0 would be as good as you can get. But
I mean, I'm going to just consider it a 5-star, but I know that it's 4.9.
Yeah,
already.
so go over there and help.
Well, that leaves room. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
Right?
We're 4.99.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with that. But if you go over there, you could leave us 5 stars, and that'll help that 4.9 get to
higher.
The 5.0. So, and it also helps other people find out about the show. So that's a thing.
And that's the most important thing that we always ask too, is the best way to get the show out there. If you like our show,
spread the word.
Tell some friends. Have them tell friends. We've had so many different guests. We've done so many different things. There's something for everybody on here. My dad digs it.
Yeah.
Our dog digs it. Well, he's actually part of the show, so he has to dig it.
My friend digs it.
Yeah. Your mom digs it. No. Anyway, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, people, humans, pets, and friends, you guys, I love you. And thank you for listening to the show and putting up with us, because you know what? It would be a weird life if you all weren't in it. And I am really grateful for each and every one of you. So
We're all
thanks.
getting back out there, man.
Yeah,
Woo!
super cool. I can't wait to see all you at all the shows we have coming up. And if you see us out there, make sure you come over and give us a big old hug, because that's where it's at. Should we get into the interview?
Yeah.
All right. You ready, everybody?
Ready.
Without
Ready.
further ado, the No Simple Road Crew gives you
Family Mystic.
Welcome.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the porch.
To the house.
To the house. To the show.
Let's go around the circle.
Well, let's say
yeah.
first of all, this is Apple
And Mel.
What?
and Aaron of No Simple Road, and today we have Family Mystic with us, a band from up here.
That was all professional
in
and
the
stuff.
Portland area. Yeah, we
I
always
feel
just we
underdressed.
start to just rush in, and then 10 minutes in, we realize, oh, nobody introduced themselves. We're just talking.
I've never done that.
So
Well-
we have Family Mystic here. They have joined us on the porch. We're actually on the porch
know.
again, like we used to do.
Thank you for being
So-
the very first ones since all this madness has happened. Thank you. Well, we had a couple, but I feel like this is a new year. I feel like this
This
is
is the first time we had a band, like a full band.
Full,
We've had
yeah.
members and
11. Yay.
all
What's
right.
up?
So, like we said, we have Family Mystic here, and we'll start. We'll let you guys go around and introduce yourselves.
Little cute.
You want to go first,
Right on.
Love?
Yeah.
Pass it over to Love.
Yeah. It's so great to be here with all of you. I'm Love. I'm playing keys and vocals and Family Mystic, and it's a real hoot and a half playing with you guys. We've been touring all summer and
Aw.
having a grand old time.
We've been watching.
All right.
Who's next?
My name's Matthew, and I play the electric bass and sing. And that's that.
That's that.
My name's Tommy. I play the drums in Family Mystic, making music with my best friends. And
Aw.
I'm really grateful to be here.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, what up? I'm Marcelo. I play the electric guitar and sing.
What's up, Marcelo?
How's it going?
So I was telling you guys earlier, man, like the way I found out about you was actually through Instagram. It was the day after we had a party here at the house, and I was kind of spun and sitting out here and scrolling through and saw your video for it's the one where you're in the river.
New moon.
Okay. And was just really taken aback by what I saw. Like, it really reminds me of stuff that I saw, like, growing up, of the Dead doing their thing when they were young. Like, I'm talking like 65, 66.
Wow.
And for a band, like, to be able to feel music through a screen is something special, at least for me. Like, all through the pandemic, like with the live streams and stuff, I'm just not about it. Like, it's not the fucking same thing. I don't get it. There's like some piece missing for me.
You're old fashioned.
Well, that too, but like, I can't fucking feel it.
There's no like energy exchange on one of those.
Exactly.
There's video of people playing to
Another screen.
the camera. That's it, trying to portray,
Right.
And so that's what's missing, I think.
Totally.
The energy exchange of the crowd giving energy to the performers and the performers giving it back,
So to be able to like tap into that just on a random fucking Sunday morning, sitting out here from you guys, I never met you before, that's special to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh fuck, there's something going on there. And so I reached out and I was like, hey, I really fucking dig what you guys are doing, and we'd love to have you on the show. And like, because you live in Portland, it seems silly to do this as Zoom. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just fucking come to the house. And so ever since, we've been watching what you guys are doing, like keeping tabs and watching how your summer's going. So I want to start with like the whole school bus thing. I want you guys to tell us the story of the school bus and like what went down.
Who wants to tell a story?
I feel compelled.
Yeah, let's
Heck
go.
yeah, let's
Well,
hear it.
so in like April or May, we had some farm work out in Missouri. We had an opportunity to go out there. So we drove out there, 5 of us in Marcella's van, and we were doing these long hauls. Like we drove from Albuquerque to Missouri in one shot because we were just trying to get out there and it was like a 20-hour, or like it was like 18 to 20 hours, I believe.
Oh
A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and we like drove through the night, took shifts, had a bed in the back. It was definitely like a push, but we were driving through Kansas at 6 a.m, and Marcelo and I had a shift up there, just us two up front, and we were just talking like we were getting ready to do a tour around the country, and we are like, wow, it'd be dope if we had a mini school bus down the road. And he went on Craigslist, and the first thing that was posted was this bus, and it was just like perfect. And so on our way back, we got it, and within like 500 miles, we had like fuel injector issues and all these things, all these hurdles, but we did it, and we just through playing music like had the abundance to freaking pay for it and hit the road. And we hit the road and just like had so many hurdles. It was so comfortable and beautiful. We painted it blue.
It's
and
beautiful.
It was our home on the road. And
Her name was Katara.
Katara. Oh.
If you all ever watched the Avatar Last Airbender, you know, the water bender, Katara,
Yes.
the healer.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's when you're on the road, there's one member, one like permanent member missing today.
Yeah, so Leonard Thomas Boland III,
Okay.
he's our saxophone player, and he's also getting into vocals, so we do 5-piece harmonies, and he's the sax man. He rips it.
Where's
Oh,
Leonard?
yeah.
Where's Leonard today?
He is stuck in California.
Okay.
Shout out
He
Leonard.
went down to get
love you, Leonard.
He went down to get a camper shell for his truck, so he could stay in that for the time being.
He's been really honing in on that low bass singing
Dude,
in the
that
mix.
sax
It's been
brings
really cool.
something special to the music too, man. It really like it ups the game. Like you guys are already really fucking amazing, but you throw that in there and it's like, oh shit, now everybody's dancing.
That's what you said. What'd you say earlier?
Well, I said anytime a band adds a saxophone player, that means you want to party. That is, if you don't have the sax, it's great, and you could still party, but a sax is a home run. It's a
Pushes the
guarantee.
party.
Oh, it's so
you're-
entertaining.
Right? You go off on these solos, and it's amazing. And so that element is really strong, and the fact that you do the harmonies, that's another really strong element. And your messages is a really strong element. And I want to get into all of those things because you all clearly seem like very driven, focused people, all of you. I mean, intense looks, happy, but like I see that there's a lot of hard work in those eyes. And it's really dope I'm honored to be sitting across from you and hearing about your journey, because we're planning a journey very similar. No Simple Road is. And so to hear about yours is very inspiring to us, and also to see the love that you've been bringing out and making, like I said, people dancing, those moving their feet, smiling. That's
the best.
I mean,
Well,
I know we
she
need
just
money to
said
live, but that
wasn't-
is something that you need to live too.
Remember when we talked to when we were talking to Higgs years ago and asked them how they kind of got over the threshold? It's what she just said, like we see with you guys, hear it in the music, see it in your eyes. Now you're sitting here. They're like, it didn't work until we were all 100%. Till we like, okay, we're gonna have to struggle, and it is what it is. And here we go. We're gonna live in the van. We're all gonna like what you guys are doing, and that's what made them get past that threshold of just a gig here and there. Like we
Get serious.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about doing as soon as we can, is being like 100%,
Well, timing, you know,
jump on the
something to work
bus
toward.
and leave.
Yeah.
So what started it? What started the band? How did it come together?
Marcella and I went to Oregon Country Fair together. That's how it started.
Whoa. How many
We
years
met-
ago?
So we met March 1st, 2019, I believe.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had another band called Soul Rhythm, and Love had a band called Onion the Man. But at the time, so I played a show at the Big Legrowski with Soul Rhythm, and Love was doing a solo set as Love Being. So he was just by himself on keys playing, and we met and we waltzed to our other friend's band, Flying Caravan. So we did a dance, and they had a waltz song, and we waltzed, and we're like, oh yeah, we kind of connected, and then we went to Oregon Country Fair like I said. And
Let's hear about
What was that
I want
experience
to
for
hear
you,
about your
Love?
fair
Wait,
experience.
hold on. But before you start, I want to hear your take on this waltz here.
It was super dreamy. I believe it was a 3-person waltz. It wasn't any old waltz.
Oh.
It was like a 3-person.
it started with 2, and then we added the 3.
That
Just
sounds like a
who's
pretty
this
dope
lovely
waltz.
man? But yeah, we like went to OCF, and neither of us had ever been before, and it was like our first time kind of jamming, and we just had a couple guitars in the campground, and we were just playing and having a lot of fun. And I remember people were like, well, are you guys in a band? And we're like, we decided like,
everyone kept asking.
So the
band?
seed was planted
the seed was
there.
planted
Like,
at OCF.
We
Yeah,
affirmed it there. We're like, we're starting a band.
hell yeah.
I mean, that's
Those are holy
I was
grounds.
just gonna say that's pretty fertile ground to plant the seed for a band. Is
Yeah.
that place, man?
That was both our first time going to Oregon Country Fair. Yeah.
Mind blown.
So 2009,
Yeah,
you guys
we saw
just
Phil
met
Lester.
March 2019. That's, I mean, like we said with your guys' sound, I mean, it seems like you've been playing together for years.
We get that a lot.
Just tight. So anyway, yeah, sorry. Okay, so
the story goes,
so the band
we
started.
We did our first show as Love Being, or actually our first show we changed the name that day, the Family Mystic.
yeah.
And we had another drummer, but we manifested. We're like, we didn't have a bass player, so we did our first show with Love on keys, and he had Lefty on the bass, so his
Synth
keyboard was
bass.
split. Yeah, the synth bass.
It's a
So it's just drums, guitar, keys, and left on the bass. But we had affirmed, I was like, I think we're going to find our bass player at this festival. If you want to talk about the festival, Love put on a festival.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
Yeah,
Okay.
I organized a small music festival in the Portland area for 4 years. It started in my family's backyard when I was like living with them and they were out of town. I was like, I could do music in the backyard when my folks are out of town. and then it grew into this like incredible, we had like 400 people on 5 acres
Dang.
1 year out in Washougal, Washington, and like 18 local bands and camping and
That's
workshops and
sounds
vendors and all the
beautiful.
thing.
Wow.
And then the final year we did it, we just did it at this cool art collective called the Pegasus Project in Portland, which is no longer.
Wow.
That was our first show.
September 21st,
2019.
2019. That was our first show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, hang on a minute.
Well, what was the name of the festival?
It's called Onion Music Festival.
Okay.
What's the significance of onions?
Well, the band was Onion the Man. And
Yeah.
and it was really spontaneous, and like we thought of the name when we were like high in the kitchen hanging out, had a show before we had a band name. We're like, what do we call ourselves?
There's a lot of different layers to that name.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was bad.
Onion. Oh.
It's super fun music. But this is what I'm doing now more frequently.
Yeah, well,
And
this
it's such a
this
hoot.
is what came out of that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a trip to know that you guys have only been playing together since 2019. Don't fucking stop. If I can give you any advice, please don't fucking stop. Like, you guys have something really special, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what
for
you're
sure.
putting out there is like medicine,
Yeah. and
especially
very,
for right now.
very sweet vibes is what we need right now. From specifically
From you guys.
you all.
Yeah.
Like seriously, specifically. I think, because we're so inundated with lots of information, lots of choices, lots of things to look at, we sometimes forget how special our input is. Like just our specific one. Not that it has to look like anything at all. It's just the fact that you're contributing. Because it does touch some person. And that person causes some kind of, ripple somewhere else, So when you are all doing it and you find each other together and you're making this sound together, that's like something showing itself and allowing it to like bless others. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like with the content, that it's not just fun. Like I love mindless music also, like jump, jelly bean, whatever. Like, and then there's nothing, What
the fuck?
Exactly. That's my point. There's some music out there that has just got beat and some crazy ass lyric like in the middle, but you guys are really promoting something beautiful.
Thank you so much.
See,
I told you. I told you.
Marcelo had that ear open. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The music. Where does the music come from? How do you all contribute to that? Let's hear it. Come on.
Well, we have kind of like an expansive background, I think, of like musical taste, and like individually have put our toes and our hands in like different kinds of genres that we feel more meaning from. And I have grown up with like a jazz classical interest, and in my earlier years I was really into punk rock and really aggressive, straight, just like really just aggressive.
It's still fun
but-
sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's great stuff.
Right?
I still love it, and then I just got really into jazz, and although it's like something I think you don't ever stop learning, especially just as an artist, you never just stop learning. But like, yeah, the attraction to jazz is just.
What started that?
Yeah.
I think it was Bill Evans, which is, notorious for like soloing in such a unprecedented way in his time, where it was just like small blocked chords, usually the doubling of an octave, and then in between the octave on the piano he would be playing tight voicings, and he would solo in that way and improvise in that way, and it was just novel. And I don't know, there was one tune of his, it was a Green Dolphin Street standard, and yeah, it was just the most beautiful solo I've ever heard. It was
How old were you at that time?
I think I was 22. Yeah.
We say rung your bell. Yeah. You're like, that.
It just
I
like
want to do that thing.
brought that inspiration to like such a level of like, like, oh man, there's so much more to life that like I can
You
give
can
myself
express.
to. Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I was just, having this start in 2019, like you guys start practicing, you start playing shows, and then the fucking pandemic hits, right? I would think for a lot of younger bands that would be it. Like, well, fuck, we can't do anything now. We just started. Fuck it. I'm gonna go drive Grubhub or whatever.
I think it kind of made us think of more creative ways to play and reasons to play. As in, like, we've been doing a lot of park shows, and we invested in battery-powered amps because there's no venues, but we see it as people need music.
Oh, yes.
So
In the
bringing it to parks, bringing it to the people, and, free shows, and people donate and keep us going, and people are dancing, and people who wouldn't necessarily be at like venues, is people are just in the park. It's an outdoor space. People feel safe there.
Yeah.
And then people are just chilling in the park with their kids, or anyone walking through the park. They're like, "Whoa, I heard you guys from a mile away. Like, I just walked over here. I was just hanging out in the park." So it kind of, made us play creatively. We're like, well, shoot, we don't have to book anything. We could just pop up wherever we want, which is
That's
exactly
awesome.
what we've
Wow.
been doing.
So was that the idea about behind like going in the bus? Like,
Yeah, the
we
whole
could just
tour
fucking
the
go
whole
wherever
tour
and
was
play
pop-up-
wherever.
Pop-up Renegade style.
Dude, that's
We don't, no booking. So if things happen, like the bus broke down, well, let's change our route, and there's no venue. It was,
Improvise.
improvise. That is key.
and it's like not just musically.
Yeah, no,
Everything.
It's all intertwined in the same thing.
So when you do that, it opens your life up for magic to start happening.
Oh yeah, we're
Right?
making magic, guaranteed.
I like to say that we're a band of wizards.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
A band of wizards.
We were talking about that this morning. You guys got a vibe about, I got to back up a second because we're very excited to talk to you guys. We went right over, we got the first half of the band forming, and then we went on to another question. These two talked how it started, but then how it all came together.
Well, the favorite part is so these two, Matt and Tommy, they're brothers.
What?
And
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, I said that earlier. Okay, you weren't all. Attention to you. Okay, I said it this morning when we were all out here talking. Okay.
One of my favorite
brothers.
things I've always dreamed of is like playing in a band where the bass and drums are brothers.
Come a little
What?
closer.
Yeah, it's always been a
That's
dream
so
of mine.
specific.
Marcelo, come a little closer.
Oh, well, one of my
Yeah.
dreams has always been
Perfect.
to play in a band where the bass and drums are brothers, like Bob Marley and the Wailers, the bass and drummers, and it's like I think there's something else where it's like they grew up together. There's some psychic connection there, and like the bass and drums drive everything, you know. Like, so moving back to the festival, we're gonna manifest a bass player, and Matthew was you said he was the first person to buy a ticket to Onion Music Festival.
He was one of the first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people.
and
and I saw
Thanks,
his name,
Matthew.
and I was like, wow.
he had a picture of himself playing bass, I think, on your social
On
media.
my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I met Matthew at Onion Fest, and I didn't know he was the bass player Love was talking about, and I was playing hacky sack with him, and all,
What?
and I didn't even know. And then when we ended up like rehearsing with Matthew, and I was just like, "Oh, dude, you were playing hacky sack." Like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." You know.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Okay, that's.
And we had another drummer. We've been through multiple drummers, and Tommy was originally.
I played percussion for a year.
Because so Matt was like, "Hey, my brother plays drums, or he's gonna play percussion." And our first show all together was November 29th or 30th, somewhere between 29th and 31st.
My first time meeting Marcelo, I played a show with him.
Holy shit! What? Okay. Yeah, he played the cajon, and it was our drummer didn't. We had got a new drummer from the previous time, and he was in a lot of bands, so he didn't make it. And we were doing these like some house show stuff, and we did an event called the Bizarre Bazaar, and yeah, Matt invited Tommy, and Tommy crushed it on the cajon. And
He had never heard our songs when he played with us, but he was Matt's brother, and he just came.
Slid
He just came to the house show, and like
Okay, somebody needs to give Tommy the mic.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
hear
hear about
this.
this, man.
My experience, yeah. I mean, after that show, I was like,
What got you to the show in the first place?
A car.
just the opportunity to play with musicians. I think I come from like going to school for music. I was studying vocal performance, and I did a lot of singing in high school, and I was in a lot of choirs. And so when I got out of that and I decided to drop out, I just kind of pursued my own music and was playing a lot of piano. And at first he asked me to like play percussion and sit in with Family Mystic, and I was really hesitant at first.
How come?
I think it was just fear of like not believing in myself.
Oh, I get
Like
that.
you couldn't hang.
I've come a long way with that.
Okay, good.
Now. Yeah,
You
but
I hope so. I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
you look back and look. Okay.
Slap you.
but yeah, wait.
No, but that's a learning process.
Definitely, yeah. It's great. I try to see it as an opportunity to grow and work out my karma and all the things. But yeah, the first show I played with them, it energetically felt so positive, and after it, like, Love was like, "Yeah, you're in the band," and it just kind of confirmed. And it started snowing that night too.
There's
It's really
that
magical.
omen. Yeah, it's a good omen.
Yeah, that snow is.
So let's go
special.
back to, you said work out your karma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Explain that to me.
Well, I think we all do things that aren't, I guess, I don't know. In my perspective, I see things immoral with decisions, and I feel like I gain karma from that. And I think to work it out is to do good.
So spreading love.
Spreading love and doing what I'm doing is like the best way to heal yourself.
Well, we could end now.
Heal. Yeah, heal yourself and heal others.
But I learned a great deal from my brother. He's a mentor for me.
That's awesome.
You two both have such a sense of calm, and I'm shocked. I'm glad I didn't know. I'm so glad that I didn't realize that you two are brothers, because I just individually, there's a very strong energy, and then you both have these specific animals on your shirts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's crazy. Both tank tops too.
I mean, it's the same shirt except
We got a tiger and a bear.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the cutoffs.
It's what I'm saying.
That's really cool. And
So energetically, you match up, and you have like, because you're both calm, and it's Marcelo. It's like what you were saying. They have a synergy or some kind of deeper connection that it anchors
The whole band.
an energy. It anchors like the energy field that you're in. That's pretty damn strong.
Well, and
Yeah.
it goes back to what I was talking about too, like
And it's the rhythm and the beat.
that. But like,
That's
you know,
Well,
that
Foundation.
that's not nothing.
a lot of the stuff that people are seeing out there today is the bigger name bands, you know, like Fish and Dead and Company and Goose
Right.
and whatever. And there's a definite energy to that music. That's why people flock to it. That's why it's popular. That's, you know, that's why it's the scene that it is. And that's, for me, like, I've been going to shows since '89. Like, my first Grateful Dead show was in 1989, and like that show
Wow.
completely fucking altered my whole life, right? And so I've been a part of this thing and seen it for a very long time. And so please take this as a compliment. So when young cats are doing that thing in a DIY fashion, right? And it's that powerful that it's coming through a fucking screen and hitting me on my porch, that's not typical. Like, I hope you guys understand. I keep saying the same thing, but I really want to like impress that upon you. Like, that's not, there's a lot of fucking music out
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of music.
There's a lot of shit
There
that's
is.
happening, and it's constantly in our faces. And when there's something that like reaches out of the ether and scratches that itch in the back of your brain, like that's time to pay attention.
wow.
And now after meeting you guys, I think I kind of understand a little more why, because you're doing something that a lot of people don't do, and that's like giving yourself completely to the thing and being improvisational with life and not just the music that you're making. It's not calculated.
It's very
Leaving it up to the univerce where
Yeah,
fucking
no
things
script.
land, man. And
That's pretty bold.
It's fucking gnarly. And
It's about
and-
time.
Yeah.
Also, it's a hard. It's a totally different.
I love you, man.
It's about time.
Well, I mean it for everybody, because usually you get the like what he's talking about. You have to like hope that the record company catches, you catch their attention. It's almost like the damsel in distress with the knight in shining armor. So you're the musician who wants this record deal. You are just wanting to play and give energy, and then you're receiving it back in order to get you to your next adventure to do that. And for however long one of you says, okay, I'm done, or all of you are like, yeah, this was cool, or it continues till you have another body, that is what I'm talking about. That's what it's time for. That's about time. I'm so proud of all you for individually deciding that, because even though you're brothers, you have to individually decide, like, if you had a girlfriend or whatever's going on in your lives, you got to wrap things up, and just kind of like everybody had to do that for their own life, and to do it at the same time in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're under the same umbrella in the same time zone in the same city. All of you gave up the same amount at that same time. And it's during this time, like COVID, pandemic, weird alien shit, like, changes in the weather, like, all like you guys decided to do it now.
A lot of things, a lot of things to make you not want to, like Aaron was saying, being a young band would be tough through this. It might make you want to give it up, but you guys are like, no, we need to go.
Yeah, talk about
we
the
need
energy.
to go
Let's get
even
weirder.
stronger.
Well, yeah, talk about the energy that you have that's bringing this up. Like, where is that coming from, as far as for all of you, maybe individually and as a group? Because that's not, you can't just like decide that and you don't got the goal for it. It's kind of like, oh, it's cool if I
might
do that.
be cool for a minute.
No.
Well, I think it's collectively, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of double up on the opportunity to like play music, but also to, I think, do healing work, because by making like free music in parks, public wide open spaces where people can like freely connect with the earth, and then to act as like, I like to see it as like shamans. We're just kind of like playing the scrolls of music that create this potential of healing. And that's how I feel our music is like. And I think if you combine this like spiritual aspect of like, I'm doing greater work for the whole, not only by like creating that energy, but also playing groovy music that has this classic vibe that just brings back a nostalgic time of just
Fun.
Yes. When
Yeah,
it
and
was
it's
free
kind of
to
a
dance
resurgence.
and just have fun, and you didn't care about what time it was or what your hair looked like. When you're a little kid and you dance, there's nothing better than that. You make dumb faces, you like fall down and get back up, and then you hop on one foot, and that's fun. And like you're free is the point. And
What did you smoke before the show today?
I just took
Some dread bread.
the
All
dread
right.
bread.
I agree too. I think these park shows are really special too because there are kids there. There's families there, and they're able to experience music. And I've thought about like, wow, there's a pandemic, and there's kids growing up, like little kids growing up, and they're scared of people. They're scared to go out.
Yeah,
you
it's a real
know,
thing.
And for a little kid to see music and be able to dance and like go up and like what's going on, what is this? And I'm just at the park, and now there's music, and now there's little kids
And
blowing
feeling
bubbles, and they're feeling it. And that's one of my favorites is when the little kids start dancing, because sometimes there's not a crowd yet. First set, it's real mellow, and the little kid comes up like, wow, what is this?
They're
Kids will
they're
get
your
the
biggest
groove going.
cheerleaders.
And
Kids are the best
yeah,
for
and
that.
you wonder, you're like, was that that little kid's first time ever seeing live music?
We just talked to this guy, Michael Palmisano. He's like a YouTube guitar teacher, reaction guy. And
He's way more than that, though.
yeah, and he
So
but
much
he had
more.
a kid during the pandemic, and the night we talked to him, they had just gotten back from their first baseball game with the kids, right? So this baby is like
18 months.
18 months. or
18
something.
months. Born like 1 week before lockdown, I think he
Right.
said.
Wow.
And so like the baby, they took him to the playground at the baseball game, and the baby didn't know how to act around other kids playing because it had never been around other people. And so just think about that
That's healing, like
in
you
the
said.
same way as what you're talking about with your park shows. So those people are coming out of lockdown into the parks and bringing their families, being around people for the very first time a lot of times. And that's what they're getting.
And you're what they're greeted with.
Smiley,
Aw.
happy music, smiles, the park. That is magic and medicine at
It
its best.
really
Well,
is.
you may have already said it, but what was that's not the typical way to go about having a band. Hey, let's just fucking pop up wherever and throw shows, and who gives a fuck if anybody comes or sees it? I don't even care. Let's just go.
Not at all.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's it was just our way to play music, like amidst COVID, because when we're in parks, people can be as distant as they please.
Yeah.
And we try to play in spaces that are very open so people can feel
Move on.
comfortable. And yeah, we just all made a group decision to invest in these battery powered amps.
So it was a need for yourselves and the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Has
it's
it-
How did you identify this need?
music's what we do.
It was at a time when the pandemic started in March in 2020 that I think as a band we were going very up, and we were experiencing rapid growth in our playing and in our community, and we were just at a position where we just finished a short tour and we're getting the ball rolling, and then it came at the perfect time to kind of create a slowdown, I guess.
Yeah.
And so since then we just
Yes.
had, we just wanted to keep it going. But luckily the technology also at the same time is just so happens to be in our favor. Portable PA systems are just amazing.
And Matt found the first one.
I did. I found the first one, and then I
Matthew,
told him about
thank you. Thank you for
Bose
that.
S1 Pros.
What did you even look up to find that?
I just looked up portable PA battery powered.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see, what kind of things existed. And
Yeah, what's out there even?
yeah. But yeah, it's fresh. It was fresh at the time.
So
Well-
during that, we had another drummer, and it was probably December of 2020. We were gonna go on our second tour. So we went on our first tour in February, and then pandemic happened March. That was like our last show was March 15th. The next day it was like lockdown.
Okay.
But so December, we were gonna do another tour with these as a test run with these battery powered amps, and that's how Tommy became our full-time drummer, because our other drummer wasn't really. He's a great drummer, great musician, and we were doing 5-piece harmony still, but he didn't want to. He didn't want.
He didn't want to do the tour.
He didn't want to do the tour. He was scared. There's all kinds of things going on. It was
That's fair.
Very fair, and
he
we-
moved out so you could slide on in there.
yeah.
Seriously,
And I'm
sometimes.
so glad he did. Like, wait till y'all hear how long he's been playing drums.
How long have you been playing?
It's like 10 months.
You all are talking like this is over the past 20 years, and this is like 10
Wait,
months,
hang on
8
a second.
months.
Just for everybody listening, look. If
Not
you,
that it matters.
If you haven't, seriously, I'm talking to all you. Just listen to me. If you haven't listened to these guys play, stop the interview. Stop right now.
Go
to
listen
Bandcamp,
and then come back.
Go on Spotify, go listen to them, and then come back to the interview and finish it, because I want you to be just as blown away as we are right now. Like, what?
So hold on. Guess how long Matt's been playing bass?
All right, Matt, come on, spill the beans.
4 years.
4 years.
So-
All right.
So
That bass is groovy AF.
we came up with a term. I want to make sure it's with this. Remember it. We call them the Sereno Prophecy.
Whoa.
We do it on
Because
stage.
they're the best.
Tell everyone, we're like,
I want
with their
to.
powers combined, they're the Sereno Prophecy.
I'd like to talk about the spirituality aspect that you two bros are bringing in the mix, and where did that originate? And just as much as you're comfortable sharing, because
Absolutely.
we love talking about that on the show. We need that. We need a platform for it. We need a forum for it.
Well, I would say my belief system is pretty closely aligned with esoteric Buddhism, and I believe that there are realms of reincarnation, and I believe that is something we're part of, and our souls can either, I think, generate virtue or karma, which is like a negative form of energy. And I do believe that enlightenment is the consummation of total virtue, and you have completely worked out your karma. And I don't believe it's kind of just a state of mind, but it's a total, capability of unlocking what it truly means to be a fully mastered, controlled human being. But
It's like it
I
fully
love that.
realize
I like
yourself.
where the train
Yes.
was going. You don't have to. That was. It was.
I concur.
oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Where did it
Yeah.
come from, man?
Yeah. It came from. It started when I was 22. There was a lot of change at that time, but I started listening to Alan Watts, and a good friend of mine, Peter Olshner, told me about him, and we just started listening to him together. And and so and
Shout out
Alan
Alan
Watts is
Watts.
like notorious for just like being a spiritual entertainer, I think, more than a practitioner of the Eastern mysticism ways of thought and Orientalism. But what really attracted me to, I guess, this frame of thinking is that it promotes going inward. And I think by practicing inward experiences where you kind of turn off your brain and just like put your focus on nothingness, I think
No
I think
mind.
I think it does a great deal of good for you. And
Yeah, being his brother too, he kind of, introduces these concepts to me, and I'm very
and you're
open.
ready. Yeah, I was gonna ask you. You seem open.
I'm
You're-
very open person. and
There's
so
no conflict between you brothers as far as like the,
There was some in the beginning when we
Okay.
were younger, but
there's always
Yeah.
They're brothers.
yeah.
yeah.
I guess
There's beef.
But
Okay.
I've lived with him most of my life. and
Okay.
we've
we
clicked
just stuck
more
together
than
somehow. That's been good.
best friend.
You're lucky, man.
it's
I'm very
it's
lucky.
beautiful.
I got
yeah.
5 brothers, and I don't talk to.
We
a
got
single
2
one
other
of them,
brothers as
so.
well.
Yeah.
Their other brothers are also incredible musicians.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Wow.
have. My brother Andrew has a solo album out on Spotify, and my brother Phil is a producer.
Wow.
And he works with other artists.
So were your parents musical also?
Yeah,
Yes.
they used to lead worship at churches, and they oh, that's cool. And they also used to play for homeless shelters.
Whoa.
And
So they were in the healing musical
Mhm.
community themselves.
my mom was a drummer too,
Oh,
so
dang.
she inspired me a lot.
Wow.
Shout out to all the mamas out there.
Yeah.
Shout out, mama.
That's where we
All
like
of
started
them.
playing music, was in the church.
Yeah,
with
and
the
they
family.
invited all the kids up, and we just like had like a Sereno band kind of thing. It was really cool.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny now, like
Oh.
so many people that we've talked to and came out of churches.
Yeah.
That and leading worship. and
You know
shit
what
like
church
that.
does? It
Gospel music.
provides an opportunity for you to perform
Mhm.
in a manner that's respectful. So it
Yeah.
forces you to be serious about practicing. Because you don't want to be sloppy up there. That's not respectful.
Mhm.
You want to do your best. And so it forces discipline in a very positive way.
Very true.
There's
And it introduces that congregation like we always talk
Yeah.
about, especially with religion. You know, that's what better.
Yeah.
You're not nervous in front of that. That's not like strangers. It's
and
your
you will know
congregation that
if you
get
do
to go up.
if you
Community.
play bad, you will know. You'll get that, but you'll also be very praised, and you'll help edify and bring up the spirit, which is one of the most important jobs on the planet.
I think so too.
Bringing up the spirit in whatever demeanor, but musically, is a very special thing.
Well,
Thank you all. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
you brought
thanks.
up something too when you were just talking about Buddhism and the the concept of no mind and that space between the thought.
Mm-hmm.
presence.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're playing improvisational music, that's where you have to live.
Mm.
You know what I mean? As soon as you start thinking when you're playing improvisational music, everything goes out the window and you're fucked. Like that, you're talking about a train wreck.
Yeah.
Mm.
But when you can get in between that and exist in that kind of in between space, that's when the magic starts happening and the energy starts flowing, and that's when people feel it through the screen.
Yeah. Mm.
Do you care to talk about the changes that were going on that led you to this deep method of thinking? Not you don't have to be specific, but sometimes like moving. I know you change as a person if you move locations. You just have to. You have to adapt. Whatever. Graduating, makeups and breakups, those things change and alter. So what kind of really pinnacle led you to such a deep way of thinking?
I think what catapulted me out of, I guess into that was an extreme depression, and I think just going so low that it's a realization of what low feels like, and then to try and get out of being low, and then to feel what it feels to feel high and feel good, and then to understand what you can do to stay high and stay good. It's just, I guess. That was necessary for me, is to get to such a low and to such a dark, sad place in my life where it was, mostly existentialism, the idea of just everything
Means
kind of
nothing.
just,
letting
means
go.
nothing, and then I was
Bullshit.
like, well, what's
Yeah.
the point of being good? And that was always my dilemma, was like, why be moral, especially being brought up in a very kind of upright Christian background.
Yes, we're very familiar with that
Yeah.
kind of background.
I think a pinnacle point for me was like when I was suffering so much, and I was listening to Ram Dass, and he was just saying, you don't need to suffer, you don't have to hold on to the attachments.
Mm.
And it was a huge turning point for me, where I just started thinking differently, and I could notice my almost DNA just transforming and becoming more aware, which was
And you were aware that you were suffering? Was that deep pitted for you also?
yeah. And I had this thing too where I would show my pain mostly to the people I cared about, and then I realized that wasn't a cool thing to do all the time.
Wait, how do you realize that's a very specific realization?
With
When you're expressing yourself and then you realize that wasn't the thing to do.
yeah, well, just because I would do it kind of in a way where I'd bring my problem onto someone else, and I'd think of it as a burden. But then I would step inward, and he would encourage me. He would challenge me to get out of my head and not
Like
put
stew
so much
over it,
attention.
yeah.
So it's been an incredible lesson.
Wow.
Did he give you practical tips and applications to do for that? He's like,
yeah, he gave me a lot of resources
Okay.
of people to listen to, but also just body language and the way we communicate. It's like psychic, and I can just tap into it, I feel like.
So when you guys are all playing together, right? You're talking
can I
about
just ask one more
no, hang on.
Because
hang
I'm
on,
gonna
hang on.
forget.
You're talking about a foundation of the band, right? And you have this connection. When you're all playing together, do you guys feel like you're tapping into their thing, or is it a group thing?
I think we're all connected each individually to each other in different ways. We all bring out different parts of each other, like Love and I, super connected, and then, you know, they have this connection, and we've all kind of get our alone time with each other and connect different ways and hear different things we do. And, you know, I feel like improv music is like practicing psychic abilities and tuning in to what's going to happen, because when we're all there doing it together, we're not thinking, but we're kind of like surrendering or accepting. Like, say you have this thought pop up while you're playing, like, I should go to this section or this chord or this lick, and when you don't think about that and you just go, it's probably because one of them sent it over, you know, like, oh, let's go here. In your head, you're thinking it. You're like, I'm ready to go into this section or go into this portal, as I like to call them, open this door. Or if you're really actively listening, and, you know, it's like, why was that thought there? Was it because I had that thought originally, or did someone think it, or we all thought it at the same time? And I think it's trusting in that.
That's finding the muse.
Yeah. And learn to just follow that.
Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, that is coming from. That's what's
we're all
awesome. You guys being so tight like that. I mean,
I like to think of, like, when we're playing, I try to do more listening than playing, even if I'm playing very actively. But try to have my first response to listen, and then it's almost like 50% like I'm playing, and you guys are all inspiring me to play what I'm playing in each moment, because we play off each other and we're
It's
talking.
conversation.
And
So when did you all talk this through? How do you know that? How can you have such an articulate conversation now? When was the first time you guys discovered this?
For me, I discovered it in a previous band.
I was ready for you to say previous life.
No, previous band. Like, I started getting into, like, the Dead in 2016. I went to my first show, and I was playing with another drummer, Todd, and he had taught me a lot because he was into jam bands, and kind of just connecting in that way, and just, I don't know, listening to jam band music kind of, I don't know, inspired me to think more outside and to go into these crazy spaces and portals, and I don't know, I talk about it a lot.
So
with
this is
them.
normal language for you. This is not everybody's the same. Some people have had a head start, right? You know, maybe they started 10 minutes before you did or 5 minutes before you did. We're all going to the same place, but maybe not exactly at the same time. So are any of you 30 yet?
I turned 30 this year.
Okay, so you're the oldest okay. So under 30, and this is the vibe and message that you're putting out. That's a pretty quick time to learn such strong ways of thinking and self-expression and healing modalities. And you catch what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to belittle you. I'm not saying that at all. Some people are just gifted and they're gifted, but all at the same time. I keep going back to this point, all at the same time, because there's something rare about individuals, a group of individuals that are at the same place at the same time with the same dream and the same, you know. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah.
You know that.
Oh, my question was, when was this conversation? Or has it just been
I think it
psychically?
I think it evolved as we played more together.
Okay.
You know, I always have thought of I don't know, improv or jamming. I've told y'all this of, like, I always picture it as like a hallway with a bunch of doors, And in that doors, so say someone does a lick or someone does something particular, that's like somebody, it's the key to each different door. So someone just put a key in a door and they open it, and then you'll do it a few times and be like, did anyone hear that door open? And then if they did, they'll respond with that same mode or thing, and then be like, and then say if not everyone responded, then you keep walking down the hall. And then oh, this door just opened. Oh damn, Matt just played that. That's pretty cool. Oh, Tommy's on that door too. Damn, Lev's on that door. Well shoot, let's all go through the door, and then we're there, and we're through that portal. Is how I've always envisioned it.
So check this. You guys are really fortunate, man, because first of all, to be able to have the language to discuss it is a big deal. At least to me. Like,
yeah, not everyone understands it.
No.
And
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
so him and I have been friends since I was 12 and he was 14.
Wow.
Cool.
And we would like,
I'm 52 now.
and I'm almost 50. So
Sound
we
50.
would like
Long
buy
journey.
vials of liquid and sit in his room and go to outer space listening to Hendrix and the Doors and whatever. And that telepathic space, I had no idea that anybody else had ever found that space. I thought that that was like existed in this one spot on the planet. That's why going to my first Dead show was such a fucking mind fuck, because I walked in, it was an entire Coliseum filled with people doing that.
And
thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, I
and
was
we
like,
were used to the same thing as like Matthew was saying, that we were into, he was really into punk, I was really into metal. We were like best friend. I liked punk too, he liked metal, but that was he had the more punk look, I had the more metal look, and that's what we knew. And then the Doors and Floyd when we were tripping. Right. That was the stuff, we didn't do that in public as much
Right.
as going to the other, hardcore shows. And then,
but walking into that first Dead show was like, oh shit. Like, it's not just us. There's an entire fucking community of people here that are doing that thing.
Can I ask you, what was your first Dead show?
It was 2/10/89 at the LA Forum. And I walked in and they were playing Feel Like a Stranger.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And it was,
and then he came back, and
Fucked me up.
it took him over a year and a half to recruit me. I thought he'd gone fucking nuts.
so I
Fuck.
came back and sold all my shit and bought a blue school bus.
Wow, Blue School Bus too, eh?
Yeah. And took off on the road. I was like, I'm never leaving this thing. Like, I fucking want to know everything about it. I want to be around these people all the time. This is my family. Why would I ever fucking leave? Like, so, full circle sitting here with you guys, it's really fucking cool to be able to hear you talk about it just nonchalant. It's not that big of a
It
deal.
seems as if music is a language that allows for the telekinesis to be a real thing. And then the fact that you are all have such strong like duos and then singular and then a quadruple bond, that there's a lot of things that are being said unspoken and then said musically and then said verbally. It's almost like the last thing that needs to be said verbally, probably between you guys.
I think it also kind of like overflows onto when we're not playing music too. Probably because we're so connected while playing, but like when we're hanging out, sometimes we'll think the same thing. We're writing a set. Just yesterday, we're writing a set. I'm like, I was thinking this. I'm like, wow, I was literally thinking that as the next song too. And someone's like, me too. We're like, well, that's it.
Well, there it is.
How long
So-
before you became a band that you made the decision to go on tour, go on the road?
Oh, well, we had our first show with Tommy the end of November 2019, and our first tour was February 2020.
Oh. Okay.
No lab. No, like fuck this.
That's rad.
I think that too is like, so Love and I, we were both like leaders in our old bands, and we kind of knew what to do. I feel like it's like I was doing all this by myself in my old band. I was booking and doing all this work, and same with you. And so we're like, well, we know what to, let's book a tour. Let's do it. Let's go. Like, we got you know, we're super blessed. We got all these amazing players, and they're down. That's the main thing.
Are you down?
Having people who are up to go and play. Because that was always sometimes in the past is like, hey, I'm booking these shows. I got this. Oh, I don't know. Or, well, I got to do this, take off work or that, you know. And like, man, Tommy, they're just like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, let's go.
That makes all the difference, man. That's
so
huge
how
difference.
is it? How is it, and how has it been on the road, like professionally and personally?
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my perspective, it is, I've come to realize, I think I'm more of a sacrifice. I think to like condense. I see it as you condense your free will to the groups, to the collectives, and you make a group consensus on how we're gonna operate for the day, for the weeks. And it's a big sacrifice because you do lose a lot of alone time, and I'm a massive introvert, and I really gain energy by being alone. And so, it's for me, it's a sacrifice, but it's for the, I see it as like the greater good, and it's fun. It's fun as hell. We get along pretty well.
It's hard though too. Sometimes it's like, because I'm similar. I could be extrovert, but then I also need to be alone to like recharge. So. Some days, you know, I'm grumpy. Some days, I'm super stoked. Some days I don't want to talk to anyone, you know, and that it affects all of us, you know. We go through things, but I think it's really special is we accept each other for all of our colors of the rainbow, and we're like, we talk about it, which is important, very important.
Communication.
Yeah,
communication.
It's hard.
Is
It's very hard to do it, and for me too. I'm like, I'm upset. I don't want to talk to no one. I'm upset. I don't want to announce. Well, I'm stuck in a vehicle with you.
Yeah.
Where am I gonna go?
Like, I'm going to the back seat.
You guys are going to the river. I'm gonna sit here and not go to the river. You know.
Well, that's an amazing.
That's true story. That's true story.
That's would have
Just
been
happened.
so
I'm like, nope,
terrible.
I'm gonna stay here. At least I could.
At least you can what?
River sounds great. It's really hot, but I'm upset. So I'm gonna chill by myself. You know?
We punish ourselves when we're upset.
May I chime in?
Yes, you can't hold back the laughter.
Yeah, it's like such a wild journey on the road, and we all go through the full spectrum of human emotions as everyone does.
Yep.
Right.
And we just try to cultivate a space of authenticity and like communicating from our hearts to the best of our ability, even when it's really hard.
Yes.
And
what's one way that you push through when it's really hard? What's one example of how you can get past that?
I've been learning to listen.
Okay.
That's a great, it's an amazing.
Learning to listen in life, just like you do in music.
Yeah,
like
listening to other people and listening to source, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it.
What do you call it?
The universe.
Yeah.
It's a pretty encompassing.
There's
that captures it.
I just I feel like there's something a lot more going on here than we can see. I think
so it's part of this lifestyle, a part of that as well.
Being on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've grown so much just in the last month of travels.
Really?
All the hurdles and all the beautiful moments, like moments of sweet bliss with my best friends playing music for people, and people are smiling and dancing.
And then flat
And
tires.
also
in the middle
flat
of nowhere.
tires and like all sorts of,
unexpected.
And I
turns.
try to just like see them. They're so challenging, and you'll get into these emotions of like sadness or frustration or whatever it is, and like honoring that feeling, but then also being able to see that it's an opportunity for in whatever form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For better or for
That's
worse.
when that is like when the flat tire happens and you're in the middle of nowhere and you have no money and you're like, okay, what now?
And you're not by yourself.
And you want to fucking choke each other, right? Because fucking you
Never
shouldn't
gets
have ran
never
over
gets that
thing.
bad.
But you know what I mean? Like where it's fucking frustrating and you don't know how it's going to shake out. It's hard to just let go into whatever and be like, okay, it'll
Surrender.
work out. It's tough, man.
Active surrender.
Big
Theoretical
lessons in
surrender is
surrender.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another like big lesson I learned on the road, like when you're feeling all the feelings, is that like honoring my autonomy is also honoring everyone else's autonomy. And like I'm only responsible for myself, and everyone's responsible for themselves. And so like all I can do is just like I try to just love and just like to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Can I say something
Yeah.
kind of based off of what you're saying is like bringing, you said it, like bringing the listening to life, you know, using things we learn in music into the life. And I feel like sometimes we'll write these songs and sometimes they just come out of nowhere, but they're kind of lessons. Sometimes I'll use the songs as like, oh, we're going through something, and then like I'll say some lyrics of a song we sing to myself or to others, like kind of like when you were saying, like, you know, it's a chance to get better. It reminded me of Bowlful Lessons of like, you know, there's the lyrics are when I'm feeling down, it's a chance to get better. But like using kind of, I don't know, if you think of writing as a channel,
Yes.
coming through, that's how I write. I think
Yes.
when I think about it, it doesn't come out best, but when I don't think about it and let it flow, it comes out. And using that as like something else is telling me like, hey, you're singing it, like here's the answer, here is
Comes organically.
yeah, here is
natural.
what you, or sometimes you don't even know, you're like, this song came out, and then later a situation happens and then you're like, oh fuck,
Oh, that's what those
thi-
lyrics
that's
are
what
for
we were
this.
singing, like, oh damn, you know. And that's kind of like bringing the music to
Yeah.
life. Or
Can I bounce off that?
Yeah.
Like the music is such a powerful tool to transmute and transcend. And like sometimes like we all have shows, as hard as it is to admit, where like sometimes you get there and we're just like, I don't want to play, man. Like we all go through it.
Yeah.
Or it's just like we're down and it's like, oh gosh. But then like
It's called a bad
the-
attitude.
the music helps like transform. And like even if I'm
Transmute that, like you were
yeah,
saying.
and even if I'm going through something, like people will come up to us afterwards and like, thank you so much, like that really was so awesome for me. And it's like, wow, even when I'm like in a like have a silly attitude or I'm feeling down, people
You
like
still
it's
helped people.
and we kind of like, I like to view like lyricism and songwriting as like we're kind of casting spells, if you will, with like
Kinda?
spelling words
Okay.
on a piece of paper
Yeah.
is
Affirmation, right?
And-
Speak in the affirmative.
yeah, and so we'll like write these songs, then it kind of like helps us feel through what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
When you write these lyrics, it helps us feel what we're going through.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where we, like, the way we communicate on stage is how we do it with each other.
Interpersonally.
And that's just like, it's really profound, I think.
It is.
And something we've been starting to do now before we play is like sit in a circle, put our hands on our heart, and we just have heart coherence, and we sit in silence for like 5 minutes. And in those moments, I'm just thinking about all the love and the great, like, gratefulness I have for what I'm doing with the people I'm with. And
Yeah, you could be working in an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
filling fucking boxes.
And
Yeah, dude.
But you know what? If you did that love life and then sent that box, when you open that box, there'll be some love coming out of there. Because
Mhm.
you can put love into anything that you do. I do it all the time. The fact that you are all doing this is adding an element to the music that you can only feel. You can't describe. These are the kinds of things that if we don't get to say, we hold inside of ourselves. What?
I'm rolling.
You're rolling?
Yeah, I started us back up.
Nice. Nice.
You're rolling on a
And
Sunday.
we're back.
Whoa.
We're back.
Hello.
That was you only get the tail end of that conversation.
It's important though. Love
It is.
love is probably the most important thing. I mean, it's
Probably.
what created all
You
of
don't
us.
sound too
It's
sure.
why we're here. I mean, it's the thing that's holding all the atoms together. It's the thing that's making the universe do what it does. And if we get away from that, we're fucked. Like, simple. That's plain and simple.
Well, that's why we're all there. Everybody's sitting here. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, this is
It's all
spreading
about
love.
the love.
We're spreading love
You
for
guys
sure.
taking it to the park. Freaking the park. I mean, it is. That's a strong
Wait,
thing.
who was taking it to the streets? Taking it to the
Doobie
streets.
Brothers.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, and you guys are taking it to
yeah,
the park.
yeah. Family Missy is taking it to the park, and I mean that's powerful, and that's love.
We got a song.
Memories
called
of the park.
Walk in the Park.
Yeah.
And then anyway, who thinks about the park? You know, I mean, unless something bad happened to you at the park, or so most people. The park. Who doesn't like the park? Oh, fuck the park. And
No.
the park is a great place to congregate.
Yeah, it
and
is.
to spread love, and especially in this now, like you guys did. You guys, this is a great story of you guys because it sounds like you definitely found a way to turn this whole kind of lockdown thing into making your guys yourselves closer, stronger, more powerful as a unit, and more loving through all this, which a lot of people didn't. So congratulations on that, and thank
Yeah.
you for that. Like Mel keeps
Heck
saying,
yeah.
thank you. We're gonna thank you guys like a million times today for doing what you do. Because
Sometimes you need to be thanked specifically for things that you do, because sometimes you think nobody's noticing, and they probably aren't. But when they do, and they say that specific thing, it means a lot. It's like taking, like if you see a picture of yourself that you didn't think somebody was taking, and you look and you actually like it, you're like, whoa, I look happy there, or I look like I was having fun, and somebody captured it, right? So it's not that we need to hear thank you. Sometimes that specific thing you're being thanked for needs to be called out and acknowledged so that you can digest it, receive it and digest it. So
Well, and
I'll probably
also-
say thank you again for something else.
Also,
just throw the thank you there too.
there's an elephant in the room that we haven't even discussed.
What is
It's
that?
Jerry's birthday.
What?
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Happy
Speaking
birthday,
of love,
Jerry,
bringing love,
Gosh.
he was really good at exciting love. Really good at that.
What was your first experience with the dead?
Let's see. So I was living on the Big Island for a while, and I was dating this girl, and she listened to the Dead, and she let me borrow her iPod at work. I was working a dish pit, and I listened to American Beauty.
That's
Actually.
the one, man.
Yeah, American Beauty, and then I fell in love with Friend of the Devil. That was my favorite off the bat, and but I've heard about the Grateful Dead all for a long time. My previous bands before that and people, but I never listened to them. For some reason, I see posters in like my friends' houses. I thought there was like, oh, it's like a metal band or something. Just see, poster. and I'm like,
skeletons and
iconography.
cool. And then I was trimming up in Humboldt and met one of my favorite guides, a man named Greg, and super awesome deadhead, and that's all he talked about at the table. And my friend Todd, he was playing drums with my old band Soul Rhythm, and he was into the Dead. And like after trimming's over, we're gonna see the Dead. They're playing at Shoreline. It's the tour closer, and it was 2016. So I saw their last show on tour, and then after that, after seeing them live, it was like a whole. Because I listened to them a little bit, like their album, and I had listened to a few live things, but unfortunately on that iPod, all the live shows weren't working. I was like, I heard you gotta listen to the live stuff, but it was just, I was like, okay, well, the studio. Then I saw Dead and Company, and it was the night Johnny got that new guitar, the green one.
Okay.
Call it the Crowning of the Prince. Well, I got a crazy set that night that I didn't even know till later. I was like,
Do you
wow,
remember?
This is amazing. The whole set, no, but I know I had like a Terrapin Station in there. There's the Eyes.
Wow.
What else? I think. Oh shoot, what was it? Maybe a dancing. I'm not sure, but I should know the whole set.
That's right. Yeah, no.
I should know the whole set.
I just
It
wonder
means I
because
gotta
that's
listen to it
no, you
again.
don't have to.
But it was first show after that. Then it was already. I was just like, holy shit! I've been to maybe like 10 shows now, but that was introduced to it, and then I started listening to like live Grateful Dead and diving into that, and changed my life. I mean, my playing is weird because
hang on, I'm looking at the set list, dude. Holy fuck!
Yeah,
you
read
got
it.
a help.
Read it out
You
loud.
got a help slip opener for the first set.
Yeah.
Shakedown, Cassidy, Standing on the Moon. Me and my uncle, Brown Eye Women, Franklin's Tower to close the set. Then they open the second set with Dark Star, Saint Stephen, Eyes of the World, Terrapin Station,
Jesus.
Drum Space, Days Between, and Not Fade Away. You got your mind blown.
Yeah, my mind blown. I didn't even know, and everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like
This show.
this set, and I'm like, I don't know any of these songs, you know. And yeah, so after that, it's just kind of dove more in, and it's weird because growing up before that, when I was playing music in Hawaii, a lot of people met some Deadheads and listened to a little bit. But people are like, "Oh, you look like Jerry Garcia," and I had a beard and I wear glasses, and I kind of had like a similar playing already. And then listening to them, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta study up. Like this is incredible. This is insane." Like, so that kind of taught me a lot about like portals and stuff like that. Especially like my friend Todd and Greg taught me about. Because my friend Greg, he's like older dead, and he would talk about. He's just such a good listener. He would talk about the music in a way that I've never heard people talk about music. Like, oh, did you hear that small thing right there? Mickey just brushed them off. They're about to go into the Slipknot. Boom, boom. Like, oh, there's the cue. This is that. Oh, see, they went into that portal jam into this and open up. Oh, boom. Oh, gotta ask permission to the aliens. They're gonna play Dark Star. You know, like shit. I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, damn,
Wow.
this is wild. I'm into this. Like, this is cool. So, since 2016, that's when I started and haven't gone back.
The bus came by.
Bus came by. I got on. Yeah, that's right.
Right on.
I fucking love hearing.
So what
these
about you,
stories.
Tommy?
Oh yeah. The Dead's pretty new to me. I discovered him when I was living in Tacoma with my brother, and I think you found him through. It was what are those things called?
Yeah, it was at a restaurant that we both worked at.
Yeah, the
and
Spark
then
Tavern.
someone's played it through the.
Yeah, what are those
The-
things called?
Like a playlist or
Yeah,
something?
some kind of playlist device through the house.
Jukebox.
Yeah, jukebox.
Jukebox. And he told me about him.
This was great.
Showed me the music, and at the time I wasn't really into it. I was really into sensitive music, and I was dabbling into Jacob Collier, so it was a different like realm. But then as soon as I joined this band, I met Marcelo, and I was like, wow, never met a character like this. And he showed me the interview, or not the interview, but the documentary Long Strange Trip. Really inspired me, and I was like, wow, we're doing this too. And it's like really like synced in with me, and then like going on the long road trips and constantly playing the Dead on the stereo. It's like I really felt attached to it, and I was like really getting into the music. I think my favorite track is Sage and Spirit. That one's like really resonates with me. And China Cat Sunflower.
Dude, saying that,
We have a song that has that kind of feel too.
that's dope.
Yeah, but
Blues for all
I'm excited to learn more about it, and
It's never ending.
I want to see a live show. I mean, I hear a lot that that's the way to experience.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's definitely the way to go.
And the
It's-
two drummer dynamic was very new for me, and like comprehending that, and it's like, wow, it adds so much.
Yeah,
space.
what they do is
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah, those guys are.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I was at the time, I think I was like 23. I'd never heard them before. Then I was working in a restaurant, cooking on the line, flipping burgers, and then I heard "Eyes of the World" come on, and I didn't know what it was, but I was so compelled. I heard Jerry Garcia soloing over the changes, and it was just like 2 chords, right? But those chords sounded so good, and what he was playing just like blew me away. And I was so used to hearing so many changes because I was really attracted to jazz at the time.
Right.
And I don't know, I was totally transfixed. I felt like elated. And then I met the two guys who put it on, and they were like, "You've never heard the Grateful Dead?" And they're like, "You're a musician, you've never heard the Grateful Dead?" Yeah. So after work that night, I like went home and listened to a live recording on YouTube, and
The rest is
had a
history.
good IPA. It was nice.
Oh, that's right
Your
on.
turn, love.
That have been really, really special in my life and in my path with music. I think I was like probably 17, 18 in towards the end of my high school, for like my first band, and we got into the Grateful Dead together, and they just listening to them, I feel like has improved my musicianship so much, because I hear their conversations and I hear how they're really talking to each other, and they like interweave and channel energy in a way that's like they take you on a journey, and it's like this journey that you must go on by yourself. But if you listen to it, it's something
comes
else
with you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. So think about that, like what you just said about you go on that journey by yourself, right? But they're having that conversation with each other. They're on that trip too.
Yeah.
And then all the people at that show were also on that trip individually and collectively at the same time. So we're all having this like individual collective experience that doesn't make any sense.
And that's life.
That is life. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, so what are the plans now that things are tentatively opening up and, you know, we're moving back towards normalcy, supposedly? What's the plans?
I don't think any of us have a damn clue.
Oh, that's a good answer.
We have some stuff lined up. We have some festivals we're playing in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, music is this for certain.
Okay, music is the plan.
Music
Survival
is the plan.
and music.
Yeah,
but you need music to survive.
Yeah,
So-
you do. You really do.
We're doing a festival, I believe, in 2 weeks. We're doing that one in Southern Washington.
Yeah.
Soul Fest.
a little renegade fest that some friends are throwing on in the woods.
Right on.
And then the last
happy to hear
weekend
about that.
of August, we're doing a festival I've played at a few years. It's like it's in Tuolumne County in California called River Ranch. And then the second weekend of September, we're doing Respect on the River, which is in near Oakdale, California.
That's cool.
Near
Respect
where I grew
on
up.
the river.
It's like private, small, intimate, really beautiful, amazing people. And
what are you doing Labor Day weekend?
Is that the first weekend of September?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just got asked to play a little like festival in Humboldt County. That's like in a small town. It's like Bigfoot. It's like a Sasquatch fest.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've
And-
actually heard
and
of Bigfoot.
they're doing a parade and all these things, and I think we just hopped on for that.
well, there we go.
I like it. It's like how it's forming. Right?
The road is unfolding as you
it's-
drive.
It's
Well, and the awesome thing too is, like you said, Renegade Festival. This is something that has happened in the last year and a half. Is all this, but like that's how it used to be. That's like a throwback to like the '60s and stuff. It's like we're just like-minded people are going to put some shit on out in the woods, and what better place? All the
rave
corporate
culture too.
And it's so fun.
Yeah, no corporate. The record labels are gone. The only validation we need is ourselves and our community. We don't need the fucking big brother, big record companies to be going, here you go, you signed, you're special. It's like you
No,
guys
we're
are
special.
doing it
I think
yourself.
everyone helps put it together, and everyone helps clean up. Everyone,
That's-
pack it in, pack it out. We're
Yes.
responsible for each other.
Leave no
Yeah.
trace.
I think one of my like great passions is just bringing people together with the power of music
Aw.
and the power of dance. And I've experienced in my life that like music festivals and musical gatherings and these types of events are such like fertile grounds for transformation and personal growth. And like
Oh yeah.
sometimes like I've been to festivals that are so silly and everyone's just like dressed up and like in all sorts of states, and like it's like a spectacle of human expression, and it's so beautiful.
It really is.
If it's, can be a safe community for the whole.
That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
right there. Like
Yeah.
let's get together and express ourselves and have fun.
It's one of the reasons we headed to Portland.
Yeah.
And the Pacific, there's Fairyland, there's the pirate thing, there's so many different things, there's so many festivals, and they all seem to be inclusive of everybody. We don't go to any, it's inclusive of every sex, religion, everything, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we're all welcome, we're all one, and that comes through up here when you go to things. And
For sure.
True.
Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with us, man. I knew it was going to be cool. I didn't know it was going to be this cool. So
Yeah.
Well,
This is
thank
much
y'all.
needed,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, y'all are rad. Thanks so much for having
we
us.
look forward to seeing you guys live as always.
gosh,
like
yeah.
that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the impression. Going back to what Aaron said in the beginning, the impression that you made on Aaron during COVID when because I wasn't getting it through it either, but I was watching a lot more of the live streams and stuff. He just couldn't. These two both kind of had a hard time doing it, and I was like, well, it's music. The impression you made on him through the digital thing and everything was very inspiring and made us really realize what you guys were doing too.
Yeah.
And just obviously you're going to keep on doing it, and you
Before
guys are amazing.
we started recording, we were talking about this like-minded dream that keeps going around about property, about farming, about music, about community getting together, and all of these things. We were just at a friend's house talking about all of these literally the
Last
exact
night.
conversation. I'd like to hear from each one of you. What do you see when you say that? And what do you make of this same message? For you don't know us. We introduced ourselves, but we also have a very similar dream. What do you make of that, just in your own life, in your own head?
Land stewardship and is the first thing that comes to mind. Just like stewarding the land and honoring the earth and honoring all the people that have come before us and are here now and that will come in the future generations. And how can we create a world that is good for everyone? And I think that like learning to grow your own food and like these ideas of like regenerative culture and like
Yes.
reciprocal closed loop cycles where
Yes.
everything's feeding itself. These started to dip my toes into like permaculture ideas. I don't know
Yes.
much, but it's fascinating how you can grow so much food on such a small amount of land. And I guess the last thing I'll say is someone told me recently that you can't free yourself till you can feed yourself.
Wow.
That was
All right.
a good
And
mic
who's
drop.
going
And,
next?
and I also think that
Damn.
paired with that, we have to share knowledge as much as we can and like help each other learn about this stuff. And yeah.
That
Spread it,
amen
make it
to that.
available, spread it.
We have to share the
Yeah.
knowledge as much as we can. Yeah.
Wow.
I think for me, being in like a land or creating a community, where we can feed each other and everyone has different skills, because you can't expect everyone to be just good at everything and certain things. What I would like is for there to be lots of art and people to pass on the knowledge of like teaching music and expression through art and creating and painting, building, any kind of art like that. And for me, it's like I want to pass on knowledge of things I've learned or music or how I know how to create. That's not necessarily your strict straight line way of creating things and just like abstract or to teach, learning and teaching for sure. Like I think we need to pass on knowledge or experiences, passing on experiences and knowledge. Like y'all talking about going to your first show in '89, talking story, like needs to be talking story about things happen in your life and passing that on. So you could, when someone passes on a story, it's like creates the image in the movie in your head, and then when you have similar things, you're like, oh well, You know, I remember that story one of my older friends told me, and I could kind of relate to that. What did they do in that situation when they were telling me that story? I could use a part of that experience that you shared and, you know, put it to use, you know. I think that's very important, is passing on knowledge and teaching and learning.
And storytelling.
Thanks for
storytelling.
Thanks for passing on your knowledge today and your story.
Yeah, man.
Because that's what we're doing here. That's what No Simple Road's doing here. Is we're literally telling stories about amazingly talented people who inspire us to get people to know them better. Well, who is this person that's blessed my eardrums? Who is this person that's made me move in ways that I can't move by myself at home? Who has assisted me in breaking off the tension of the week through a sweet melody, you know? So thanks you guys for doing that.
Well, thank you for having the platform and to have us.
Storytelling is
You know?
the most powerful thing it
Talk
is.
story,
It goes back to our
Yeah.
roots before there was TV and everything. It's all storytelling.
I can tell you lived on the island.
Yeah.
Talk
So
story.
wait, hold on.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A phrase I've heard recently that's really like rang true for me is like returning to the ancient future, and just like
shit.
Yeah, baby.
just like bringing it back to, you know, how we used to take care of nature and let nature take care of us. And that's a big goal, long-term goal for me, is to just like make music and express myself in art and tending to growing food and doing it sustainably. And I mean, this is all new for me, because I mean, these guys have really like made me consider it and
Aww, that is
helped
invaluable.
me question things that I never thought about.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my goal. I think I'm in the right place at the right time, and the universe is helping me unfold my destiny in a perfect time.
Tommy,
Hang
we
on to
need
that.
you.
Yeah.
We need you right now. Do you know that? For real.
Thank you.
You're needed. I needed to hear that. Everybody else who's listening needed to hear that. And the fact that you weren't told what to think by them.
No.
You were shown how to think, how to
I
use
chose
your brain.
to see it and then choose my own sovereignty,
Yes.
but work with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's invaluable. That we
That's
need
powerful.
that. I'm a grandma, for goodness sakes. I've got 2 children, 25 and 19, right in that age group. And yes, we do need to leave something for the future. We do need
power the next generation.
Yeah, we can't just be like, okay, I'm done, I'm dead, done. See you guys later. Sorry, I burnt out the freaking soil. Like, no.
Deuces.
And the fact that you
Good luck with that.
care and are doing something about it at this tender age instead of in your 50s or 70s is a great deal of the faith I have in this upcoming generation.
And we constantly
you've provided hope today.
And we're receiving this a lot from your guys' generation again and again, getting teared up with like being older. You kind of sometimes lose hope in a way, and not lose hope, but it's like, what the fuck? You see the majority of millennials.
You get disenchanted,
fucking shit up or being materialistic, and we've met so many local younger bands like yourselves and stuff, and just the community, the crowds we run into, like a Dead and Company and stuff like that, the younger crowd coming in. It's like you guys are even stronger than we ever had a chance of being at your age, and you're harnessing that and fucking using it.
Well, I have to say
to
it again.
its best.
I think that's because of all the ripples the past generation
Yeah,
have
we've been
planted.
pouring it out for a long time.
Yeah.
And those ripples keep going out, and generations after feel those,
keep on,
and build off of those.
Exactly, that's the activity.
Yeah,
you guys are actively using these skills. So we've like maybe drummed up these skills,
so you can surf them.
shown these skills, but you're using them, and that's what is necessary for the next jump, that evolution. Like whatever that big thing that's going to happen, whether it's great or terrible, we need action, and that's what you all are providing is action.
All right.
All right.
Matthew.
Is it Matthew, both?
Both
what?
is good.
Okay.
I'm indecisive.
You're indecisive.
So are we. It works perfect.
Right on.
But yeah, I just like to. Yeah, that action is like and really important right now especially. And I think we are providing like that action for free, and it's like I like to think that when we're going through unprecedented, strange times, uncertain times, I think that the outpouring of art is like one of the best things that can happen for the whole. And I think we're in a strange time where technology has made that more like applicable. And but I'd like to echo kind of what Love said earlier about becoming reconnected with our roots, and I'd like to like bounce off of the words of Terence McKenna and just his focus of reconnecting with Mother Gaia, and how we since in the industrial age in the 50s, we've just become increasingly more disconnected from nature, and it's an interesting problem. And I think, it's easier said than done to plan your life to become more self-regenerative and become less dependent of our governments to take care of us and to provide for our needs. But I think it's our duty at this point.
Yes.
Bum 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 ba da dum bum 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 ba da da bum 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 waking up to you, my friend, looking down the road where we began. Sit and smile, laugh, I hear you speak. Stay a while, we can dive deep. In the rain, in the fall, feel the wind or the cool breeze. Bum, 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 ba da da. Ooh, ooh. In the rain, in the fall, feel the wind or the cool breeze. Sing together, melodies synchronized. Feel empowered with you in my life. Seeing you see me, witness me in you. Time goes on as we breathe. In the warmth of the sun, hear the song of the tall tree. Bum, 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 ba da da. Ooh, ooh. Feel the warmth of the sun, hear the song of the tall trees. Bum, 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 bum. bum, 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 ba-da-da. Seasons come and go. Sleep through the night. Dreams intertwine. We can take it slow. Your heart, my heart, watching them grow. Grow. Tell me, baby. Holding tight, letting go, all of you, where the stars meet. Holding tight, letting go. Holding tight, letting go. All of you, where the stars meet. All of you, all of you. Feel the warmth of the sun. Feel the warmth of the sun. Hear the song of the tall trees, holding tight, letting go, holding tight, letting go. All of you, where the stars meet. All of you, all of you.
Thank you.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth. And alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient. Or haven't you learned it? One simple road. Shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Hey, this is Steve Choi, host of the Musicians Guild podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media podcast network. Within the four walls of the Musicians Guild, we'll be discussing the habits, idiosyncrasies, experiences, and general psychology of my friends and peers, all involved with music in various capacities. Listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com.